looks a little bit foggy. Is it just me? Anyway, hi. Oh, there you go. I just needed to make the lights come up. How you doing, everybody? Welcome, welcome. S, good to see you. How we doing? Oh my goodness, y'all. Okay, so I thought I would. This is the second time this week that I've come in and done a live. I'm trying to catch up with that whole time that I had a big break. I've been super busy with acting and stuff. I know, good to see you too, S. So I'm back, she's back in town. I have a little bit more time. So, okay, so I got a good story, you guys. Manifestation story. While I'm getting the cards prepped. So I've been doing these side gigs where I've been doing TikTok lives for like bags and like jewelry and washing stuff, whatever. Just basically like they pay well per the hour. I can talk for like hours. So I was like, you know what, just for a little bit of extra cash for now is great. Don't really need it, but I was like, it's nice to have the extra cash because I got all these things that I'm doing. Anyway, it got to the point now where I just started to do my own lives with my cards. And my focus and attention has been shifting, and I'm just like, ugh. I went there the other day, and I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I feel like I'm ready. And my husband's been saying the same thing. It's like, I think, you know, it's time for you to move on. Anyway, long story short, I show up, and just about as we were going to do the live, they had technical difficulties, so we couldn't do the live. And then, long story short, they tried to basically ask me if I could do full time, and I said, no, like there's no way I can work for you full time. I've got too many things going on. This is definitely a part-time gig. Anyway, long story short, I got paid just to show up. I got given a free bag, and I also got let go. But it was like the most relief that I had felt in my life. And this is the second time this has happened where I'm like, okay, it's time to move on. And the timing is absolutely perfect. The last place where I was like, all right, it's time to move from this other place. Apparently the business collapsed literally within a week after I left. So I feel like I'm just so lucky. And sometimes we feel like, okay, we're losing something. I'm like, nah, man, this is like exactly what I wanted. And of course, because, you know, I don't depend on these jobs for like big money, but still it was just funny. So I was just like, of course I want it, and it happened really easy. And I got paid to basically quit as well. So it was funny. Anyway, but I hope you guys are all having a good week. So I'm so excited for today. So we're going to get into the readings very, very soon. Jackie reporting back. You have a previous reading for me, and the timeline unfolded exactly you described. Oh, really? That's cool. I love that. I love that. I love that. Yes, yes. Cool, man. Well, guys, so just be aware, by the way. So like I said, there is, hey, Eileen. I know, so good to see you again. Yay, everybody's joining a little bit more. So we do have a full moon in an eclipse coming up, okay? So energetically wise, what I've been hearing, this is like big change for a lot of you. But just be aware that I'm also feeling like destructive change. So be careful, essentially. Now, this is not like a bad thing, but it can turn into be, if you're not careful, if you're not paying attention, I feel like things can happen where they can go too extreme. So we want to be treading very carefully at this time because the changes are happening very fast. And again, you just want to be as self-aware, as focused, as slow, as like take your time to do things. This is not the time to rush, to jump into anything. I've been feeling this very, very strongly for myself because I already had a few things happen where I'm like, okay, if I was just a little bit more careful, a little bit more slowing down, things could have gone better, but I didn't. So it tells me basically what the energies are at this time. So yeah, so just be aware of that, guys. So welcome, seeing more people joining. Hi guys, happy Friday, happy weekend. This weekend's coming up. So all right, so welcome for those of you who are new. Hello, my name is Jacqueline. I do these readings every so often whenever I have time. So how my readings work is very, very simple. So I'm going to start off right now with a group reading so everybody gets something, and it's also just a reading in general for the energies. And then essentially, if you guys give donations, you will get a longer reading. But if you don't, that's totally fine too. I will just basically give you a reading as well. It just won't be as extensive just because of time usually. So hey Jack, how you doing? What's been happening? Let me get my pen and paper. She is. I had time to get this organized and I just didn't. At least I showed up. Okay, so welcome. All right, guys. So, good to see you too, Jack. Oh my God, I know it's been a while, guys. I've been busy. I've been doing a million things. I was filming a film, and so I've been away, and then I was like working too many long hours. So, but she back now, and she's more focused than ever, and she ready. And I'm hoping to finish this book soon. I've got new courses coming on Inside Timer. I'm going to focus more on my own business, hopefully, and get the time for that. Yeah, the role was fine. I was playing a lawyer. But it's, I don't know if you guys ever heard of those vertical films that are coming out. They're everywhere now. Terrible scripts. Absolutely awful. But I had the time of my life, and that's all that matters. A lot of action, a lot of stunts, which I'm always happy to do. A vertical film like one, yes, Tim, like the ones that you play on your phone. So I was a lead in that one. Terrible. They are so bad. They're hilarious. This one wasn't that bad. I've read worse ones, but you know what, guys? They pay. And I'm an actor, and I'll take almost anything, you know. But I have fun doing them, and it was fun. And, you know, I still think that even though the job isn't the quality that I would like, do I rather get paid to do something that I love and just not take myself so seriously, or would I rather, you know, not work and wait until that opportunity shows up? So I really sat with myself. Terrible, yes. And I sat with myself and I was like, you know, I'd rather get paid to do something that I like. And you really, like, as an actor, as anybody, you know, you got to think about what you want. I'm not so much about being famous. I'm more about working in the industry that I want to work in. So I will take those terrible jobs sometimes too, which is also like any actor. And also, trust me, if you can do some decent acting in that, I think it'll teach you a lot about how to be a good actor, hopefully. Absolutely, yes. And yeah, you can definitely have both. Listen, I've got a film coming out soon that it's going to be like really, really good. It's going to be high quality. So I've done like things for Showtime and Stars, but I've also, I mean, again, I'm just a working actor. So being a working actor means I'm taking a job. You're hiring me as an actor, whether it's like high quality or low quality. Are you paying me to act? Great. You know, again, depends what it is. There are some things that, of course, I will say no to, but for the most part, I'll take it. Even silent films seem low quality now. Perhaps vertical films will be the thing in the future. Then you can say you participated before they go. They will be. It's inevitable. And there's a lot of rumors apparently that Netflix now are taking over. They're going to start doing their own vertical. So it is a thing. But listen, anyway, let's not talk about my acting career. Yes, exactly. But I get to do a living, make a living out of it, and I have fun. So that's the main thing, guys. And it's about living your passion, okay? So anyway, aside from what I'm doing, acting-wise, but you can go and see it. It's called, what is it called? You Messed with the Wrong Lawyer. Yep. Even the title just, you know? All right, guys. So we're going to take a minute now. We're going to do a group reading. So just connecting to all the energies, to anything that you also need through this group reading. And then, of course, I will take one-on-one questions. So I'm just going to take a moment to connect. All right, and let's see what comes up. Also, where is my deck? Okay, here we go. Ooh, these ones want to come out. Okay. As a lawyer, not to mess with. Yes, Jack. It's funny. Actually, I get beaten up a lot in that film. It is so dumb. My character gets beaten up multiple times because that's typical vertical scripts. And not, like, she defends herself, like, twice. Which in real life, I would, yeah, it would have gone very different. So I had prosthetics the whole time, and it was funny. Listen, the stunts are hard, though. Like, when you do stunts on set, like, you're getting, like, these verticals are, like, 12-hour shoots, and I had 30-minute break. because I was the lead, I was in every single scene, so it's long hours and a lot of like crying and being thrown around, and yeah, I would be doing the beating up, yes, which was funny, but you know. Anyway, so let's see what's coming up for this eclipse, guys. So I know there's a lot of energies coming up, so let's find out. Sorry guys, it became about my acting career right now and not and not about the reading itself. All right, so I really want to just connect as well to like this lunar eclipse energy. And so like I said, if those of you who didn't hear it before, just be careful at this time. It's a time of big changes, and sometimes big changes can happen. You can be thrown into it, or just things. I'm feeling aggressive, if that's the best word to put it. So just be very careful, okay? All right, so here we go. So I need space here. So we got the 9 of fire. We've got the 6 of earth, which is money and career, ironically, since we've been talking about that, and the 7 of air. Okay, so something about don't give up, protect that which you've created, have courage and believe in yourself. The next one is gifts of money, time, and effort, new career opportunities, receiving a loan or paying off debts. And then plans that need revision, more going on that meets the eye, poor timing. So what am I hearing here? I'm feeling like there's something that's been created, there's something that's been started, there's something that has been, what is the word that I'm looking for? It could even just be like an idea, or ignite. Oh, I like it, ignited. Let me see if it comes to me properly, the idea. But essentially, this is a lot to do with like wanting to start a project, having the idea of starting a project, or it could even just be, doesn't even have to be a project. It could be like a new relationship, or an idea again, or a change that some of you want to be making. But I do feel like for most of you, could be career driven. So there's a need to protect this idea, okay? Oh, thank you, Jack. So what this is telling me essentially is that you got to be careful who you're telling this information to, and you got to be careful who are you entrusting with new things that essentially you're walking in vulnerably. So when you start anything, you're vulnerable, and you haven't built up the belief, you haven't built up the momentum, you haven't built up the evidence, speaking of lawyer, the evidence of essentially knowing if this is going to really fulfill itself or not. And when you share these ideas with people who may have the best intentions but just like don't believe in themselves, or they're projecting or whatever, it can very quickly make you lose the momentum or the energy of finishing this thing. So you got to be very, very careful, again, with who you share it with, or with who you talk to. It doesn't mean don't trust people, but it means be careful who you trust. And sometimes it could be your own parent. Sometimes it could be your best friend, you know. So you got to just be a little bit careful. So if you are going to get to a point where you are sharing it, make sure that you're in a state where you are confident enough that it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter how they feel about it. All that matters is how you feel about it. This is a spot on. I needed to hear this, though it's a little different context. Amazing. And Jack, again, you know, like this is a group message, so I'm glad that it resonates, but whatever you're hearing in your head, trust it. So the next thing is financial that's coming up, rebalancing of finances. So I do feel like for some of you in the next coming months, it could be like finances can be like very up and down, and surprise bills can come up, or unexpected expenses could show up. But understand that, don't panic, don't freak out, don't allow that to bring your energy down, essentially. So you want to know that whenever we're even changing financially, when things are shifting financially, especially if you are trying to create a new business or a project, it's going to throw out off your finances, because things have to change, and so your relationship to your money has to change. And sometimes it's going to bring up your fears, sometimes it's going to bring up your insecurities, sometimes it's going to bring up the challenges that you need to evolve in and resolve. So if you can see it from that perspective, essentially it's going to help you to overcome it much quicker and much easier. And then the final thing is plans that need revision, more going on that meets the eye, poor timing. Okay, so what I'm really getting with this, it's more so like a lot of things, a lot of energy is happening. All I'm hearing is that if things don't work out the way it expected, it's basically because it needs, like it said, a revision. So it needs to be refined. It needs more work. Okay, so sometimes we think, you know, a project is ready, and then we put it, or we want to put it out there, but then so much things show up that aren't in alignment, and so we got to go back to the drawing board and make it better. You know, I know this, for instance, with my book that I'm writing right now. There's been like 3 or 4 versions, and I'm at the last version now. I'm confident with it, but I'm really slowly going through it. I'm making sure that this is the final draft, you know what I mean? So I thought it was ready like 5 years ago, you know, but sometimes that's, again, a blessing in disguise. I wanted it to be ready back then, but it's ready now. And if I did release it back then, it wouldn't have been as good as it could have been now. So these are things that, again, at the time, they may feel like they're slowing us down. They may feel like they're going against us. They may feel all these things, but feelings aren't facts sometimes. So look at the facts here. Look at the fact that, like, look behind all of that. It's like, okay, it's not working out. What is the positive behind this? Why are all these obstacles showing up? How can I see this from a more like bird's eye view, as opposed to being so involved in it and emotionally attached to what I want as opposed to what it could be? So yeah, so that's what I'm hearing for this. So very cool. I hope that resonated with some of you guys. I see some new faces and some familiar faces. Hi guys, welcome. So Jack, I saw that you gave a donation. Thank you so much. What's up, my friend? Do you have a question? Welcome guys, good to see you. Happy eclipse, y'all. It's an eclipse. Big changes. Mimi, so good to see you, my love. Yay. Can I get a reading? Yeah, Jack, of course. What's your question? I was called to do something this morning. So you want to know about what that was? Hey, Mel. Welcome. Yeah, absolutely, guys. So Jack just gave a donation, so I'm just going to give him a reading first, and then I'll take questions after that. Of course, anybody who does give a donation, they lock their position. They didn't just get a longer donation, but if not, no stress at all. So is that what you want to know, Jack? It's about this thing that you were called to do this morning? Thank you, Mel. I got you second. No, my project wasn't planning to ask, but then group was so spot on. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, no, I got it. So you want to know about this project? By the way, do you guys like my eyeshadow? Isn't it cool? Okay. So let's see what comes up. Absolutely, Mimi. So I've got Jack right now, and then Mel just gave a donation. So after that, I'd be happy to take your question. Isn't it cool, Mel? You know what it is that TikTok shop that, oh, I got you down, Mimi. Thank you. That viral eyeshadow thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a go. And then I bought it. I was like, yo, this is actually really pretty. Okay, Jack, I'm focusing on you. Thanks, dolls. You know, I had a shower. Okay. I'm gonna get my cards out. I've already been giving readings this morning as well, so you gotta get with the program. these ones want to come out. Okay, and those ones. All right, let's see what comes up, Jack. I've got so many cards. Not enough space here. I'm going to be redecorating this soon, so I'm very excited about that because she needs an upgrade. Aw, thanks, Mimi. Oops, shoot. Woo! Thank you. Well, I'm going to put some shelves and stuff because obviously I have these on a stool, so I'm going to be redoing this whole thing. So I've even redone my kitchen, y'all. She's been on it. She's been changing the energies. All right, Jack, so let's see what else comes up. I'm just getting more cards for you, man. Yeah, but this background doesn't allow me to do like lives and stuff. I mean, I can do lives, but I can't display things well enough, so it'll be great. Just trust me. Oh no, S! We'll see you soon. We're gonna miss you. Hopefully I'll see you next time. And also, guys, if you guys have like a better time to do lives, let me know as well, because I'm always happy to like know that. All right, here we go. Damn. We got some dragon energy going, Jack. So I'm waiting for, oh, there it is. Waiting for one more card. Ugh. They always like to fall on the floor. Okay. Nice. All right, perfect. I love this. So you got two different completely energies. Oh, I love that, Tim. A dragon on your back. Just be aware that that's powerful energy to uphold. Hey, Joy. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so the first card that you got, Jack, was actually vacation. So you need to go on a vacation. No, I'm joking. It means something else. Then you got miracle healing. And then you got environmental awareness, okay? So the vacation, what is telling me about this project is that essentially you need to step back for a minute, okay? You need to take a break. You need to kind of just detach from it, because sometimes when we're so involved in something and we're just so obsessed with it that we know we can achieve it, but sometimes then we get so obsessive that we're not opening up our minds essentially to see other possibilities and other things that are going on. So it's almost like clinging on to something so hard that it's like, it's creating in a sense like an energy of, not maybe lack is probably the word that's coming up, but not like lack in poverty. It's like lack in like energy. So sorry, I'm just listening on the cards, what they're I'm speaking to the cards, y'all, okay? Just give me a second. So miracle healing is coming through next. So it's almost like once you step back, once you give it a break, once you give space to it, then things will kind of clear out, and then you know exactly what to do. And I feel like the miracle healing, it's like you'll have that aha moment. It's a brand new mission given to me. Amazing. So you want that aha moment. You want inspirational, what's the word? Inspirational action to come to you. And you can't do inspirational action when, again, there's this like energy of holding on. So think about it. Don't you have like sometimes the best ideas when you're like in the shower, or when you're going for a walk, when you're in a very relaxed, open space? So whatever that means to you, that's what essentially is needed for you to get. But it doesn't have to be your idea. It's more about like, what's your involvement in it, right? And what is it in the way, what is challenging you about it? So the idea could be how to resolve the challenge, or the idea is how to create it, or the idea could be how to make the thing. I don't know what the thing is, right? But you gotta interpret it. So the next thing that came up was focus, 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 communicate with vision, and be a leader. Advice from someone creative. Zoom in. So, focus, 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 okay? So I'm not sure if it's like if you're getting distracted, or again, I'm feeling like there's just too much going on, in the sense of like there's this and then there's that and then you could do this and you could that, or you could go up here, you could do this, but then I really wanted to, I don't know, Jack. But they're saying focus, 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 and so communicate with a vision and be a leader. So when it comes to becoming a leader, the leader is very good at compartmentalizing and knowing what the most important thing is to do in order to get everything else done. That's a good leader. That means saying no to things. That means saying no to a lot of ideas. That means seeing the greater vision of whatever it is and not thinking about the smaller things, letting the smaller things resolve themselves, because that's not something that they would take on. Most important in timing, yes. And that's the thing that I was talking about, the miracle healing, okay? The timing will come perfect to you when you put the environment to be on in the right energy. But as long as you're in that this, and that, this, you're going to miss it, okay? And also, I get advice from somebody creative, so I don't know if there's somebody in your life who can give you some good advice about that, but that's also coming. Okay, objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, seeing the humor in the situation, literally what I just said, okay? So again, a leader is very good at basically seeing what's the most important thing. I always call it the triangle, right? So the triangle, this is all of the problems, all of the obstacles, all of the things that are in the way. So a really good leader, what they do is like, they go to the top, they do the number one, the most important things, they deal with that, and then everything else will take care of itself. Because it's just how the energies flow. So there's a need to be a little bit more objective. Again, this is what I mean. It's like this and this and this and that, just like you said, step back. Okay, what's the number one most important thing that needs to be solved? Everything else, F everything else. What is the number one thing that can help me with everything else? So step into that leadership. You're translating for this for my situation. Yes, absolutely. So now I forgot what I was saying. Number one thing, yes, but I'm trying to remember what I was about to say. All right, it will come to me. An illusion of being trapped, lack of self-confidence, afraid to take action. Okay, I think this is which one are you already doing? The illusion of being trapped, that you're already like taking action? I think fear can be misunderstood. I think it could be also like, again, not being sure, questioning. It could be many other things. So this is the thing about cards as well, that sometimes they send you a message in a certain way, but we have to interpret it right for the message that is specific to what you're asking. So there's an illusion of something essentially, and if you can let go of that illusion, everything else will guide you towards whatever it is that you're trying to do. Trying to hear if anything else. It's pretty like vague. I think it's because I'm not quite sure what it is, so it's also hard for me to understand the message, and I'm just interpreting the language of the woo-woo land here. But essentially the point of this message is like, just try to be objective about it. Find the number one thing that you need to resolve, because that's going to lead you towards all of the other problems being resolved. And take that leadership role within yourself even. It's like, all right, dude, I got this, like whatever it is, I can figure this out. I know I've got all the wisdom. I know I can do this. You've obviously got the confidence, which is great. So the next thing I need to do is just to step back and allow it also to come to me, allow the information to come to me so that I know what the next step is. Because sometimes we think that we have to take control, but sometimes the best thing to do is just to step back and allow the ideas to come to us. Whether it's like downloading information or receiving guidance or whatever it is. So I'm not getting anything else on this. Excuse me. Is there any more questions, Jack, that you feel might help you a little bit more with it? Because I'm not getting anything more when it comes to this subject. Hi guys, welcome by the way. for those of you who just joined to see if a few more people have just joined. Hi, Marianne. I was just wondering if you might have specifics. So you got to give me a little bit more context as to what we're talking about, because I think I understand that you said that it's a project, but I need a little bit more from you. I mean, you don't have to give me 100%, but like a bit more direction on like what you mean by specifics. Like, should I go left or right? Should I take the job or not? Or like, I feel like I need a little bit more specific information from you to get the specifics. If you know what I mean. I hope I got the question right. Oh, from London. Amazing. Welcome. What time is it in London there, by the way? It's like 3:33. Yo, it's 3:33 in Los Angeles right now. 333. We like 333. I was given a mission. It's not mine, so I am not scared, but I was wondering they were speaking through you with more. I know, I saw, Mel, that you gave the 333 too. I mean, what are you, like Jason Bourne, dude? Like, I was given a mission. If you choose to accept it. Okay, I was given a mission. It's not mine. So this is the thing that you're confusing me with, Jack. It's like, okay, I was given a mission, but it's not mine. But if you're given the mission, then it is yours. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel like you give me cryptic. You're being a little cryptic, which is fine. You can be cryptic, but I'm very confused. So let's just see what comes up again. Miriam, thank you so much. Yes, you may. So right now I have 2 more people who are in line. Essentially, people have given donations. So once I get through everybody, I will also take questions. But because people have donated, they essentially just jump at the top of the line, and they get a little bit of a longer reading. So based on the group reading, honestly, I can't even remember what I just said, but it's okay. Just following intuition, just wondering if they might be communicating through you, that's all. So you're meaning obviously the spiritual team, if they're communicating through me, if they have a message for you, if that's what you mean. Thank you so much, Miriam. So I can, oh my gosh, my phone's blowing up. Go away, people. I'm doing things. Maria, are you consulting on a project? Sorry, Jack. You're being like, I'm hearing you, but I just want to make sure that I'm getting what you're asking, because I want to make sure that I get like the energy right. So, yes, sometimes that happens, but I think I got what I could earlier. Okay. Okay. Hey Jocelyn, no, you're not late at all. I'm giving I'm giving Jack a reading right now. Then I have Mel, Mimi, and then Miriam, and then I'll be taking questions. Unless of course you give a donation, in which case you're gonna lock your reading in. So Jack, I'm gonna use my cards here. It's a spiritual thing. It's why I'm walking the earth right now. Okay, now I'm giving a little. Oh, that's what you're talking about, your mission. Okay, now I'm with you. I think that's what you mean, right? You're speaking woo-woo terms. All right, let's see. So you were given a mission spiritually, although it's not your thing, as in like it's for other people. I don't know what I said this morning, dude. But we'll see what comes up. Hopefully it makes sense. I'm just going to trust that it's going to come out. Ooh, that really wanted to... So you did get environmental stuff as well before, so I feel like it's some sort of connection. I don't know if you have a connection to nature and stuff, but it's something to do with like the greater good of some kind. So I do know that that came up before. Okay, so you got the tree spirits. Yes, the greater good. That's what I got before. Yeah. Okay, I feel like I think I'm getting on the same page. So whatever this mission is, Jack, essentially when you get the tree spirit is essentially asking or seeking for greater counsel through this journey. So that could mean, I don't feel like it's a person. I feel like it's possibly like an angel or a spirit guide or a nature spirit. Okay, so it could even just be the trees or something. So if you want to achieve or receive or succeed in this mission, then you need to get the information from that higher power and not from so much earthly powers. So think of it this way, even the stuff that I do, I don't really, I get some information from people, but most of the information that I get is from somewhere else, okay? So how you do that, that's up to you to figure out, you know, but once you start learning to speak the language of the universe, you'll know when that information's coming through, and you'll hear it clearly. It'll be, again, that aha moment that I was talking about before. The kitchen witches. So, hey, CG, good to see you. So the kitchen witches are all about what you're ingesting, okay? So you want to be on this mission. You want to achieve something. You want to elevate. What are you taking in? Aha was this morning. Okay, awesome. So what are you ingesting in your body? This could be thoughts, this could be actual food, this could be belief system, this could be your environment. And by the way, guys, your environment does have a huge influence on your frequency, okay? If you look at a lot of studies of people who have grow up in certain areas, there's like all sorts of stuff around that, okay? So how can you elevate your frequency? And again, the second card that you got here is the crystal witches, which is the crystal witches is again related to environment. You're being influenced by your environment, okay? So your environment, thank you, Tim, I got you down. So again, you got to be careful, right? So for instance, giving you a stupid example here, but like when I used to smoke, okay, I was around a lot of smokers, and that's a certain frequency. The minute I removed myself from smokers, it was easy for me not to smoke. But if I go back into a smoker's environment, I'm going to eventually possibly start smoking again, because that's there. So smoking is just an example. It's a physical example. This could be behaviors, this could be thinking, or this could be just environment itself, like the toxins in the air. So if you want to elevate your frequency, if you're trying to receive these downloads, you also have to be aware of your environment in order to be able to receive that. And then the next thing is the mystic angels. I love this one. So this one is an interesting message about you. So don't put yourself in a box, Jack. You can be tough and sensitive at the same time. You can be this and that. You don't just have to be one thing. So sometimes when we want to get somewhere or we want to achieve something, we put ourselves in a box, and we think, oh well, but I can't be. This is the dumb one, for instance, but I was like, oh no, I can't be an actress and read tarot cards, right? Because then those things just don't make any sense. Why not? Who said that? You know, so for you, it's like, in what ways do you put yourself in a box? Do I say, oh, I can't be like into the dark arts, but at the same time be into like healing and angels? I don't know. You know, of course you can. You can do anything, whatever you want. It's up to you. You're your own ingredients. So again, this could have to do something with the environment and making you feel like you have to be in a certain box. But this is about freeing yourself and just essentially just like allowing yourself to be yourself fully, regardless of these belief systems that are basically trapping you. So you have the power to discover who you truly are. You only need to see it and own it. Above all, let go of social expectations and be aware of the subconscious programming that keeps you in fear. So again, the fear came up again, Jack, and so I feel like when I say fear, I mean, we're thinking of fear as like, oh my God, that's scary. No, fear could be like, I don't want to go into that situation because then everybody's going to talk shit about me. Or I am not going to let people know about this about myself because I know it's going to have negative repercussions. So fear could show up in many different ways, but we just don't see it as fear. So again, change the word fear into whatever works for you, but that's basically how it's going to help you. But just be aware of your environment. So start choosing what you're ingesting as opposed to, and I mean, possibly even like literally eating, but it could just be like listening to, watching online, taking in energetically, because that's going to change your energy a lot, and it's going to help you receive that wisdom and that guidance that I think you're wanting to connect with. So that wisdom is going to help you on your mission, help you achieve that mission, but you gotta be in the right frequency for that as well. Okay, so did that help a little bit more? Hopefully that made a little bit more sense, Jack. I felt like it was cryptic, but still all leading to the same thing. Yes, when you elevate, when you change your energy, you cannot help but change the outcome of things. Okay, it's just a given. It's just how it works. Okay, and you're so welcome, Jack. Yay! All right, who's next? Mel, you're next. What's your question? I've got Mel, I've got Mimi, Miriam, and then Tim. So far. So I'm just going to close the energies with you, Jack. And when Mel is ready, we'll get her question. In the meantime, I'm just going to admire my eyeshadow. Aw, thanks again, Jack. I appreciate that. Next best step. Actions for me, please. All right. These cards want to come out today and play. You are so welcome, Jack. So fun hanging out with you, by the way. I just feel like you've got like a cool vibe. I don't know why. Interesting. They're coming up. So Mel, I'm just focusing on you. Ooh. No, that's too many cards. I know, right? It feels like he's like that cool, I don't know, he's got the vibe of like a cool, chill rock and roll dude or something. I don't know. Okay. So, Mel, a desire to move on. Okay. A decision to move on, to search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. So there is something obviously that you're wanting to change. There's something that isn't working out for you. There's something that needs some kind of transition. But I think there's a lot of fear, Mel, as well, because it's like, well, if I make this decision or if I move away from this, am I missing out? Am I like, I feel like there's a fear of like, maybe I'll make the wrong choice. Maybe I'll won't find something better. Maybe it won't be as good. Okay, so, but deep down, you still have this like, you know it's time. You know it's like, look, I've been here. I've done this for a long enough time. I know exactly what it is, and it's not going to change. It's still going to be the same thing, and it's great. It might be good, but what if there's something better? So there's this curiosity of like, what could be on this other side or this other whatever. Not sure what it is, but you know, hopefully. A very happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. So I don't know if this is related to family, but I do feel like it's related to maybe other people. Other people are involved in this thing, so it doesn't necessarily have to be like a job or something. It could mean a relationship transition. It could mean a job that's affecting your relationships. I'm not quite sure here, Mel. But there's other people involved in this, I feel, or you're afraid of it infecting other people in this thing. Love and blessings before I sign off. My dragon is a pendant and 2 interlocking in a bracelet. Very cool, Maria. I love that. I love the dragon energy's coming up a lot today, y'all. So I'm trying to listen to see what this is. Maybe I'll get more information as I move on. But I do know that this came up. So the next thing is the sun, okay? Happy outcome, brilliant news, ideas that lead to success. Have confidence in yourself. Okay, so Mel, this is the right choice. I don't know what the next step is. I don't know what it is. I've been dealing with chronic illness for 2 years and don't know how to take steps. it seems like I keep getting punished as I try. Okay. That makes sense, the change stuff. I'm just listening. Just give me 1 second. What is the family thing to do with that? Is it because you're afraid of like the family having to take on the burden? Ah, the husband. Okay, that's what it is. So this is making sense now. So this card is about moving on. You're not being punished, although I get it, it feels like that, but you gotta keep trying something new. You gotta keep moving forward. You gotta keep doing something different, because the fact is, like I said, if you stay where you're at, you know what that reality is like. So there is a need for trying something outside of the box, and I don't know what that means for you. And parents can pull me back into old shit that isn't good for me. Okay, so maybe there's a bit of both. The point is, I'm just trying to find a way to words to say, because I can hear it. So when it comes to illness, we feel helpless, okay? And I mean you. I mean humans. There is something that it feels like so out of your hand, it's so out of your control that you have no options but to suffer, okay? And it feels like no matter, like you said, no matter what I try, I feel like I'm being pushed back. This is not an easy lesson to live, and this is not an easy life lesson to experience. So the reality of it, Mel, I'm so sorry to tell you, it's gonna suck. And I think you know this already. It sucks already. But would you rather have looked back in time and been in a situation where you're like, all right, I'm just gonna be giving up because I know that no matter what I try, it's just not going to change anything? Or am I willing to try and try and try and fail, but at least I know I fucking tried? So this is maybe the energy that I'm hearing with this, right? So you know it's time for you to try something new, whether it is meditating, a different type of meditation technique, whether it is to have affirmations and a different mindset, whether the small things that you can do. Because those are the things essentially that I feel can help you get through it, but at least you don't fall victim to it. So the problem with the law of attraction is that even though you may be a victim, if you continue to see yourself as a victim, it just amplifies, and then more things happen in your life where you keep feeling punished. But if we can change that perspective and saying, okay, again, how is this, I know this is going to be a very difficult one, but like, what is this teaching me? And imagine if you, even though you're going through this and you're going through all this pain and this suffering and it's just been absolutely fucking miserable, but you can still have some like trying different things and still have like, I mean, I wouldn't say a positive attitude, but like a fighting attitude. Imagine what you could teach people outside of that. You know how much you can, just by being that fighter spirit, how much you can inspire other people. And again, I'm not saying that this is easy or it's like easy for me to say, right? But I know what it's like for myself to have crippling depression, and I chose to fight. And because of that fight, I found solutions. But before that, I just stayed in the depression and I accepted the depression, and I was like, I fell victim to it. And so that was just my reality. It was just Groundhog Day over and over and over again. So for me, it was like I was at the point where I just didn't want to be here anymore. So I was like, well, since I don't want to be here anymore, what else can I try before I go? Miriam, yes, I do. So the Sun card came up, okay? So happy outcome, brilliant new ideas that lead to success. Have confidence in yourself, Mel. Do they see anything prescribed, ketamine or IVIG, 2 things that have come up? So let me check in on that, okay? I think they want to focus more just as well on, like, this is making sense now, because they want to focus more just on your energy, but I'll get into that. When you start stepping out of your comfort zone and you're going to start trying to do different things, things are going to start working out for you just a little better, okay? So what I'm getting through this more specifically, it's like, as long as it's Groundhog Day, it's going to keep being Groundhog Day, but as long as you try something different, you're going to have little successes. So they're really encouraging you to try different things. Now, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not quite sure what you mean about these two things. So could you maybe word the question as in, should I do this or should I do that? Because I think it's going to help me a little bit better. So it's like, should I trust the doctor, or how can I, because I don't want to give you, yes, you should do this, or because I don't understand this stuff. So if you could word it a little bit better for me to give you like just the right direction, or for them to give you the right direction. Because what I'm good at, guys, is helping you manifest and helping you resolve your problems. I'm not so good at like telling you you're going to be pregnant in like 2 weeks, although that does sometimes come up. You know what I mean? So I just want to make sure that I don't want to give you anything, especially when it comes to medical stuff. It's very, very touchy. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, absolutely. So I've got Mel, Mimi, Miriam, and Tim right now in line, and then I will be taking more questions outside of it. I'm just not sure whether to go down these paths. Got it. Okay, so whether to take on these medical things as an alternative, or to maybe stay on the natural or whatever. Okay. I feel like these cards want to come out. Let me just, give me a second. These ones do want to come out. So Mel, I wish I could give you like an exact yes or no. I can only tell you the energies that I'm seeing here. Okay, so I do see the energy of being trapped, right? You see how that fairy is like on in a spider web, and that she like just doesn't know, and she's dipping her toes into like a hole. um, Look inside yourself. So I feel like this could also mean that you're getting information from so many other sources that you should or shouldn't be doing this, or this is the best thing for you, or this isn't the best thing for you. And when I hear this, it's really about, what do you want to do? Are you, whether you do go down that path, understand that there's always cause and effect, right? So yeah, it might fix one thing, but it still might have a negative. So I feel like when we go into these things, we think it's all going to be like, people tell you it's going to be great, and that might have been true for them, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's true for you. And so regardless of what happens on the outside, based on what people are telling you, you really, what I'm hearing here is you really got to be sure that regardless of what happens because of these medical things that have been suggested to you, could I be at peace whether it did end up well or whether it does end up bad? And I'm not saying, I don't feel like it's going to end up really bad, because I've heard decent stuff about that. But again, I'm not a medical doctor, so I don't want to give you any advice on any of that. So I feel like it's almost like this is happening as well so that you can learn to trust yourself a little bit more. You got to learn to, is it worth the risk? If I look back in 5 years' time, will I regret it if I didn't do it, if I did do it? So it's more about, what are the questions that you're asking yourself to make these decisions for yourself? And also, you should never really rely on anybody else to give, especially when it comes to your own life, unless they're a professional, I guess. But even then, so parenting and children came up. Okay, so I feel like this is about protecting your inner child, protecting little you, protecting the vulnerable sides of you, and then let go. Did I just knock that over? Okay, surrendering. So there's a level of surrendering here that is needed as well. I'm not getting, like, sometimes I get very clear messages, and then sometimes the messages are just a little muffled, and I think it's because I'm always very careful about, especially medical stuff, but I'm going to ask a little bit more information because I want to make sure that I get something here that's a little more. So at the end of the day, Mel, I think really the questions that you're going to ask yourself is like, aside from fear, because fear is normal, what are the other emotions that you are feeling with this decision, to move forward with it or to not move forward with it? family keeps coming up, dude. Are you being influenced by your family to make this? Like, is family like pressuring you to do this? Like, why do I keep seeing like family? Is it your husband? Like, I'm kind of like, it just keeps popping up. So and so again, I'm getting dreams come true, believe in yourself, the end of a difficult situation. So I keep feeling like there's a relief at the end of this. So whatever the decision that you make, it's going to be the right one for you, because as long as you make the right choice based on what's right for you in your heart. I'm not getting anything specific, so let me just check one thing. So listen, what I do know, Mel, today is what we got is this. Step out of your comfort zone and try something new. Issues with needing to hold boundaries with my parents. Yeah, I keep feeling that, and I felt like that has something to do with this as well, right? Just being like other cords attached to you, and like, I don't know, trying to get you to go in a certain direction. But here's what we do know, okay, from the reading. Number one is like, be willing to try something new. So I'm not going to make this decision for you. You got to know what that is for you, okay? So if it feels right in your gut, if it's something that you're sitting with and you're like, I've got nothing else to lose, I'm not going to regret it whether it goes one way or another, I'm going to go for it. But at the end of the day, what's coming here is also like protecting little you. For some reason, she came up. And what was the other thing that came up? So once you let go of the expectations of other people, the people around you that are influencing you, all that sort of stuff, it's like when you start listening to yourself, okay, which is probably the issues with the boundaries, right? This makes sense. And again, maybe little you, it's protecting little you. Once you start taking actions and taking your power back, as in like, this is my decision for me and I'm making the decision for myself, that's when, again, things are going to align for you and things are going to work out. But I do see a good outcome. I do see a good outcome in the situation. So I don't know if it's whether you're going to go through with this or not. But the point is, do you want to? Okay, Mel. And I don't know if it's hard for you maybe to make a decision. Maybe you're one of those people that are like, you can't make up your mind, right? So I don't know what the situation is for you, but you got to start listening to that within yourself. So maybe take some time to meditate and ask yourself what it is that you really want. Cancel out all the noise and the chaos around you, and it's like, what feels right to me? The other thing that you can also do, I'm going to give you a little example here, is something that's helped me to make decisions. Whenever I don't know, make a decision, your body doesn't lie. Okay, you can lie to yourself, but your body doesn't lie. So when it comes to these medications, for instance, one of the things that you can do is you can do kinesiology. So if you're thinking about, for instance, there's two, right, that I saw. So you can ask your body things like, is this right for me? So you can lock in your fingers, and then when you're telling a truth, it will hold itself hard. But when you lie, you're going to try and pull your fingers apart and it will get weak. So sometimes when I don't know what I'm like, if I'm eating something that's off or whatever, I'll just ask my body. I'm like, hey, is this right for me? Okay, and you can start by practicing things like, my name is Mel, I am so age, and I live in so and so. And then you can lie to yourself and say something, my name is Sarah, and I live in the moon. And then you'll notice that your body will lie. So these are little things essentially that if you don't know how to get that information, and you don't know how to trust yourself, at least trust your body. So when it comes to these medications, one of the things that I know a lot of people have done is they focus on the medication and then they ask their body, is this the right choice for me? Is this going to help me? Or the other one, is this one going to help me? And one may be stronger than the other, maybe both won't be, or maybe both will be strong. So then you might have a choice. But at the end of the day, this is about your health and your life, and you need to make that choice for yourself because you got to own that. So I'm not hearing anything else, Mel. I don't know if I'm helping you here. I hope I am. I know it's not maybe what you wanted to hear because you wanted a yes or no, or you wanted more like this is direction, but I did hear that it's time for some kind of a change. It is very challenging to decide of the effect of the doc visits and my system health, literally. I have to be so careful with where my energy is spent. Yes, but this is why you got to spend energy with yourself. Okay, this is why you got to make. I keep feeling like it's like you gotta own it, and you got to be okay with the consequences of it. Not so much giving power to the doctor. The doctor essentially is like, here's an option, right? You have the power to say yes or no. So that's where you hold your power. And so if I was going to go through something like that, the only thing I could say is like, well, if something shit happens, at least that's on me, because yes, they offered it to me, but I made the choice. And I didn't say, well, they forced me to do that, or I didn't feel like I had any other choice. And if you don't feel comfortable doing it, then look for something else, because there might be other options out there. Say, what else have you got? Can you give me other options before we get to that? Are there anything else that I can try before that? Could that be the last thing? If they say no, it's like, okay, do you have somebody else that you can recommend? I don't know. But at the end of the day, you want to feel comfortable with your choice. It's about you owning that decision for yourself and spending that energy for yourself, not for your parents, not for the doctor, not for anybody else. It's like, I need to sit with this and I need to be okay with this decision within myself. Because that's the only way that you can make that decision without then falling victim or feeling like you got taken advantage of, feeling like you made the wrong choice and now there's nothing that you could do. You know what I mean? It's a hard one, Mel. It's not like I can give you something that is like, yeah, this is going to be a great outcome. Or sometimes, life is just tough. Sometimes life, it's just hard, but I always say, choose your heart. It's like being healthy is hard and being unhealthy is hard. Choose your heart. One takes a lot of work and dedication, and the other one takes also a lot of work and dedication. To be overweight, to be thin, both are very hard. To be successful and poor, both are very hard. Choose your heart, right? So my thing is like, I rather choose my heart in the sense of, well, I'm going to choose this. I'm going to make the decision for myself, or I'm going to let somebody else make the decision for me. Either way, it's a hard choice. So I don't know how else to like help you out with this one, because it's a very complicated one. But I do think that it's like there's more layers, and I do feel like just stop listening to people and start listening to yourself and start reconnecting with yourself. And really maybe do some journaling, maybe do some automatic writing. Okay, so like take a pen and paper and say, to the healthy version of me, channel to me and through me anything that I need to know. Or to the version of me that knows exactly what is best for me, what do I need to do in this situation? And then just keep writing, see if you get any information from there. But you got to start having that conversation with yourself. You got to start having that, building that relationship with yourself. And sometimes we don't always make the right choices. It happens. But then at least it's on you. You know what I mean? It's like you can't blame anybody else. Sometimes it's easy to blame other people, but it's a different energy, if that makes any sense. Thank you, Tim. So he says, apparently I have a meditation that is like, be the light, rise above darkness and negativity, that resonates with me a lot, and it helped clear blockages from me. Again, and that's the other thing, Mel, maybe do some of the meditations. You can do mine or somebody else's that are going to help you, but just take your attention and focus on solving this problem, because I promise if you keep asking the question, the answer will come. But don't give that power to other people. Don't. And even like somebody who does readings, because the energy can change at any point. Like whenever I do readings, I'm showing possibilities, but there are other possibilities. We can quantum shift, we can quantum leap, we can change our reality. So when you give that power to somebody else, essentially you're giving your power away, and you got to be careful with that, because then essentially, there's benefits in that. Like I said, if a mistake happens, then you get to blame them, but then you're also powerless in the situation. So we really got to learn how to own the decisions and be okay with consequences. When you're okay, whether it goes good or bad, then you can make a decision powerfully. But also having one foot in and one foot out, it's like that insecure energy, which creates insecure reactions, if that makes any sense. All right, Mel, I'm so sorry. I wish I could give you more, but this one is a tricky one, and I really do feel like whatever I've given you should give you the foundation for what you can work on to get there. Okay? All right, best of luck, my love. So Mimi, oh wait a second, can spirit help me, or should I be on my own? So you see what I mean here, Mel? Yes, spirit can definitely help you, okay? But spirit is you. You are spirit. You are one with everything. So this is what I keep telling you. I feel like this energy of you giving as opposed to trusting. I am spirit. I am God. I am the universe. I am connected to everything and all. So when I, for instance, receive information and downloads, yes, I'm getting it from somewhere else, but I'm getting it. So it is me. It's a very hard concept to hear and understand for your brain. So once you understand that, it's like, it's my choice. It's my information that I'm downloading. It's coming from me, but it's coming from somewhere else. Yes, but yeah. Yeah. So, and again, think about the law of attraction, right? So if I have a lot of fear in trusting, guess what happens? You amplify that. So how can you start reprogramming that, Mel? Like I said, start speaking to your body. Learn to trust yourself. When you learn to trust yourself, you'll build an energy that's a lot more powerful. And so you stop giving your power away. You stop giving, and then spirit, which is you, will give you the better information. You can hear it clearer because you have a better relationship with yourself, and you're not questioning the information that you receive. Because if you don't trust, guess what? You might get the download, but then you're like, yeah, but is it or isn't it? And you're still questioning it, right? So I don't question a lot of the stuff that I receive now because I've failed a lot, by the way, a lot. But I learned on that process. And it took a lot of now when I hear something, I'm like, okay, it might not be, but I know, I trust it. I know that it's trying to tell me something. So it helps. But if I'm like, don't know, and this, and then you can't make decisions, you can't move forward, you can't trust yourself. Does that make sense? So do me a favor, Mel, do the automatic writing and do the physical testing, okay? Because these are little things that are physical. And so because they're physical, they're more concrete. And so it's easier for you to trust that as opposed to in your head or just in meditation, although that's just as powerful, just depending on the person. But when you physicalize something, like I said, the kinesiology, it's very cool because you can start, you can build a bit of confidence by doing this. It's like, oh, is this good for me? Yes or no? Is this, so it's more right here, right now. And so the answer is more solid. Oh, I'm sending you so much love too, Mel. Best of luck. But trust yourself, girl. Okay? Learn to trust yourself. All right. Mimi, what's your question, my love? So I got Mimi, I've got Miriam, and then I got Tim. So thanks for the patience, guys. We're going to get through. What is coming up for me in September? Okay, so closing the energies with Mel. And then opening up the energies with Mimi. September. Y'all, guys, it's gonna be me. This is the other day I was doing a live. I couldn't stop singing. Every 2 minutes I was coming up with a song. I was like, oh, my brain, shush. All right, so let's see. Let's see what comes up. Ooh, she fell out. Ooh. I see some good things for you, girl. I see a little breakthrough. Breaking through the surface. Nice. Oh, okay. The ending of something for sure. All right. Okay, so you got two, whatever, I'll just speak it. So your wish come true, concerns fade away, a love of life. Okay, so I feel like there's all these treasures and stuff and you're finally breaking out of the surface. So you can breathe now. It's something I do feel like there's a change essentially happening for you. There's a breakthrough again, like I said, a shift or a next level up. I guess that's even a good word for that. And then the next card, the end of a difficult situation, embrace change and expect things to get better now, recovering from addiction. So obviously this doesn't mean, unless you do have an addiction, but I don't feel like that's the case. I think the addiction is more talking about a cycle, right? Being stuck in a cycle, being stuck in a loop. Oh, thank you, Lance. Yeah, they're doing all right. Unfortunately, listen, when you have a rescue, there's always somebody sick. There's always something happening. There's always but for the most part, they're doing good. I had some very tragic things happen recently, but two of my rats have passed. But yeah, that's a whole other story. So I'm not going to get into it because it's going to get everybody super depressed. But they're apart from that, everybody else is doing well. But thank you so much for asking, Lance. Now, the other thing is, Mimi, is just work-life balance a little bit. I'm not sure what this means here, but just be aware of that as well. So even though this breakthrough is happening, there's still like imbalances with maybe focus, or one is taking too much of your energy and it's straining from the other, or the other one's taking up. So there still needs to be this like juggling between work-life balance, where one doesn't consume you too much, and it's like, how can you make all of these work in sync and not have feeling like you have to compromise or move up and down. So yeah, so that's what I'm getting. I mean, do you want to know a little bit more about that? Because essentially it's just to the point, but there is some kind of a breakthrough happening for you in September. So I don't know if this is something that you've been working on, or that you've been manifesting, or that you've been trying to get to. It could also just be a breakthrough with like a project or an idea, or it could be a breakthrough with like a relationship. That is up to you. You must trust yourself in knowing what that is. But essentially you've broken a cycle, which is very good. And just, of course, be careful with the balancing of the energies, because you don't want to be thrown off. So Mimi, do you have more questions, or maybe more specific, so I can give you a little bit more, or do you feel like that's enough? Like, this is a very quick one. So I just want to make sure that you're getting what you're looking for. Yeah, so sure. But do you have a specific question, as in like maybe with the project or something, or are you just, I can just continue just to move on with these ones and see what else comes up? Little hamsters. Oh yeah, my dog ran out again today in the street. This is always with my husband. My husband is more about the breakthrough. Okay, so let's find out. See, if they were with me, he ain't going anywhere. I would know exactly where my children are. But he's fine. Ooh. I think I'm getting, like, I'm using my cards so much now that I feel like I'm, obviously, I mean, I created these cards, so it helps, but I feel like I get so much from them. So I see financial breakthrough here. So luck or finances, essentially. This is the idea that's coming up. So the leprechauns are here to bring you fortune and luck. This is a sign that luck is on your side and new opportunities are opening up for you. Follow the rainbow, trust the journey, and take inspired action towards your dreams. Your pot of gold awaits, but it's up to you to manifest it. Stay positive, believe in your magic, and let that energy of abundance flow into your life. So what is this also telling me right now is that I don't know if you're already working on abundance and stuff, but now that you're going to have also this breakthrough, then you have to adjust. It's almost like, what's that term? It's like the temperature gauge is like the hotter it gets. There's a time of adjustment, and then once you've adjusted, then you can change the manifestation techniques to adapt to that next level. So this is something that's coming up actually more for the future than just September. So once this breakthrough happens, there's going to be a period of adjustment, and then once you've adjusted, then you have to upgrade, up level, whatever it is that you're doing, right? You know, Lance, you only fall into that if you allow it to. There's a lot of people who are very, very successful in hard times, so be careful about that one. So green witches. So the green witch is a profound connection to nature and the animals. They are asking you to look for the signs which may come from Mother Nature herself. She is always speaking to you. The question is, are you listening? They are trying to tell you something, and when you listen, you will know when to take action. There is also a deep connection to the animals, and as they are family. So inspired action came up twice, Mimi. So what I feel is also going to happen for you in September is that once this breakthrough happens, the breakthrough could also be led by inspired action. So something, you're going to have like an idea or a weird feeling, or you're going to be guided to do something, and so take that action. This is the time to do that inspired action. Inspired action, guys, by the way, doesn't always make sense. It's like, I always like to refer it as like something stupid as like, start doing that pottery class. And you're like, why should I do the pottery class? But you're like, all right, I'll go and do it. And then you meet somebody who's like in the tech business when you were just trying to develop this app or something, you know. So be always open, and it doesn't always have to make sense, but if it feels right, follow through with it, because that's how inspired action literally works. And then the next one, and I think this is more related to the balancing of things, when I was saying before, like the energies needed a little bit of balancing. Just because you have a breakthrough and stuff doesn't mean still things aren't challenging, still things need to, like, again, rebalance. So the wizard is all about stepping back and having a bird's eye view. So what this means essentially is that you're too emotionally involved in something to see it for what it is, or you're too emotionally involved to make the changes or the adaptations, because of course we're attached, we become attached. And that means fear, that means mentality of lack, that means like, well, ideologies or whatever. So if we can step back, and I always like to think of it kind of like, look at it from the point of view of your spirit once it's passed, once it's transitioned. Like stepping back and looking at your life and reviewing your life. Is this thing really going to matter? Is this thing really that important in the long run, like 20 years after you died? Or is this little thing really going to define, you know, I don't know. But sometimes when you see, like, no, it's not really going to matter in the long run once I'm dead. You know what I mean? So then it puts things in perspective, because then it makes you really understand what is important, and as opposed to like what I'm attached to or what I think I need in that moment, right? It's like things, once we die, things don't really matter because we can't take them with us. So what mattered was who I discovered to becoming the person who made that money or who created that life or whatever. That we can take back with us, the lessons, what we've learned, but not the actual like material things. It's funny because I think about people who are like billionaires and they built up all this wealth, but they can't take that back with them, you know? So, you know, just to put things in perspective, I guess. So the wizard are asking you to connect with your higher self to receive the answers that you seek. They also urge you to take a bird's eye view of the situation, and perspective will help you see the truth and make the right choice. So I think that's pretty explanatory. I'm trying to listen if there's anything else, but I'm not getting it. Okay, so I'm going to see if there's anything else that wants to come up, Mimi, for you, just to clarify a little bit more. But I feel like it's pretty straightforward. Dolphin people. Okay. So the dolphin people often mean that we get a little bit distracted. So again, this is probably bringing you back to don't get distracted. Stay on your course. Don't lose sight of your goal. Okay. It's so easy to lose sight of our goals. Like even now when I'm finishing this book, like, for me to sit down and edit this freaking thing for the 20th time, it's like, ugh. But then when I just sit down and do it, I don't go on my phone, but I want to so badly. It's like, it's little things. You'd be surprised how easy it is for us to distract ourselves. So again, playtime is important. So I think, again, it's going back to that work thing balance. I don't know why that's coming up again, but play is important, but now is the time to focus. There is something meaningful you need to complete and accomplish. So stay on course and get going. Miriam, thank you so much. So if you go into Insight Timer, you can find my website, and in my website, so I think if you go to my profile, you can contact me directly there. So I can easily do like one-on-ones and everything like that. Okay, so Mimi, is that making sense? Hopefully. Got it. And I'm not thinking of the tariffs. Exactly. So guys, think about times of war. I'm going to give you an extreme example. There are some people who made millions. Now, I'm not saying it's fair, but not everybody did it the wrong way, okay? I know, for instance, someone in my family in Italy made a lot of money during the war because they were actually creating the tires for all the military trucks. So to give an example of a time where everybody is like, everything is effed and there is no way of making money, people still make money. So don't be like everybody else. Don't fall into that fear mindset, because that's just gonna make you fall into like a sheep. Don't do that. You got to think outside the box. Usually I found out what's important to me after I make a decision and experience what that decision has done to me. Then I decide again. Nice. I like that, Lance. All right, Mimi. So best of luck, girl. But it's exciting. You got a big breakthrough, and I love breakthroughs because breakthroughs means that you're up leveling, upgrading, and so there's changes. But again, like anything, like I said, the temperature gets hotter, right? So there's a bit of an adapting, which is why I feel like the distraction thing and all that sort of stuff is coming up. So stay focused, okay? Because you got this. You got this. All right. Thank you so much. Miriam, you're next, my love. Yee. Okay, so I'm just going to close the energies with Mimi. And I'm going to open up the energies with Miriam. Oh, thank you, Mimi. I appreciate that. I'm glad I could be on point. I'd have no idea on this side. Like, I'm like saying things and I'm hearing things and I'm like, I swear I hope I'm on point. Still have that little bit of doubt, but then again, I got to trust, you know. Daniel, yes, I didn't see you give, let me see. Okay. So Daniel, I'll definitely give you a reading. I'm just going through the people who've given donations. Okay. So once I get through everybody, so I've got one more person, which is Tim, and then Daniel, if you have a question, I'll take your question. So my question is, should I wait to, oh, I thought it said to vote. Oh my God. Should I wait for the love of my life another year and his feelings are true, we'll be together at any stage happily? So Miriam, I'm kind of confused here. Are you in a relationship or are you wanting to manifest a relationship? Are his feelings true? Okay, sorry. So you are in a relationship and you're trying to, okay, I'm with you now. So you want things to basically, I'm assuming, to get to the next level, and you want security in this relationship. So you're questioning whether this person's really in love with you or not. And whether it does go to that next level or not, will you guys be happy or not? Okay, gotcha. So quick thing, Miriam, I do have a course on Inside Timer on manifesting your soulmate. So I do recommend you do that course, even if you are already in a relationship. It's going to give you a lot of like good tips on how to make it what you want it to be. Yes, that's relationships, my love. There is complications, but let's see what comes up, okay? So I'm just going to focus on the cards. All right, I'm going to do this one because these ones, I'm loving my cards, y'all. I am so proud of my cards. They've definitely been spot on, and I've been getting a lot of great feedback from people, which makes me very excited. So let's just... Okay. Anything else to be clarified? Boom. Okay. So, Miriam, you got the incarnated cherubs, okay? So I'm going to read the card to you and just see if this resonates with you. Yeah, so Lance, that course is for also singles. So it's if you're in a relationship, it'll help you basically like either connect in that relationship or move away from that relationship, but it's really designed for single people. So it is for single people. So I would recommend that course. It's just going to help you, teach you how to manifest the love, so the right person. But it can be used either way. The incarnated cherubs love to be in love, and they are asking you to reflect. Are you more in love with the idea of something than the reality? Be mindful of perfectionism and high standards you place on yourself and others. Love is meant to be felt, not just idealized. Reconnect with your heart and embrace the beauty in imperfection. Let go of unrealistic expectations and allow love to flow naturally, both within you and in your connection with others. Crazy how that's the first card that came up and you're asking specifically about love. Okay. So sometimes, Miriam, what happens in relationships is that we have subconscious programmings on what our ideal relationship is or should be. And we try to change things. We try to either push the person to be a certain way, We try to get something that that person cannot provide. It's just normal. Everybody does this up to a point. But the problem is sometimes is that this often can become self-sabotaging, or it can create problems in the relationship. So the question here is, with this person, people don't really change, okay? They really show you who they are. The only times that people really change is if they are willing to change for themselves and nobody else. They should never change for anybody else. They're less likely going to be able to do it and actually follow through with it. So what I'm hearing here is that essentially you have a certain level of standards and expectations, and I don't know if this person, number one, it doesn't seem like they're fulfilling it, but number two, whatever this expectations, or, and by the way, there's nothing wrong with having expectations, okay? But it's like trying to get something from somebody who doesn't either want to give it to you, or doesn't know how, or doesn't have the resources, or you're trying to project maybe a certain type into somebody who's not that. So this is for you to figure out. So I'm not seeing that this is not a possibility. Like, any relationship can turn into something bigger and something better, but it does take two to tango, right? It's a relationship. But when it comes to changing people, you cannot change people. You can only change your relationship to them. So yourself. So let's just say you want them to be a certain way, right? But they're not giving you that. That every time you see them, you show up with this anger and this resentment, or you show up with this frustration, or you show up with, no, there is no intention of changing. Perfect. Amazing. But in case you want to change something in the relationship, you got to change your relationship to them and your expectations to them. So let's just say you want to get married and they don't want to. Sometimes being so attached to the idea of getting married can push somebody away or freak them out because it's putting pressure on them. So what are the ideologies that you're having, and are they serving the greater good of the relationship, or are they just attachments that you have and expectations that essentially are really creating more problems in the relationship? So if this person never ever ever changed, it's the complications, okay? But it still applies. Somebody can want to, but why haven't they? Now, again, I don't know what this situation is. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the complications is, right? But from what I understand, if somebody really wants something, they make it happen. So it could be that they want it, but I don't know what the situation is again. So at the end of the day, if this person never changed and you never got what you wanted, would you still be with them? This is one thing that can help you understand whether you'd be happy or not in this relationship. If you could be with this person without, but if this thing is so important to you and they cannot give it to you, then it's going to cause problems in the relationship because they're not giving you what you need and want. Anyway, let's move on. Attachment for me to pay on first dinner date, but have no resources, lol. Oh my God. So the mystic angels are both tough and healers, reminding you that strength and sensitivity coexist. You have the power to discover who you truly are. You only need to see it on and own it. Above all, let go of social expectations and be aware of the subconscious programmings that keep you in fear. So twice this like expectation thing came up. So I don't know what it is with you, Miriam. But obviously if you want things to change, there's the level of expectation or hope, right? So let's just get to the last card. Are you feeling lost, dear one? The Mer Fairies are here to gently guide you back to your path. Nothing is ever truly lost. You simply need time to reflect, process, and trust in divine timing. Okay. Clarity will come when you quiet your mind and allow the answers to flow. Hey, Hannah, good to see you again. Be patient with yourself, and soon you will know exactly what to do. Okay, so again, I'm just telling you what I'm seeing here, Beamer. So I'm seeing an idea, an expectation, or some kind of attachment, okay, which is normal. Again, when we're in relationships, we want things, it's normal. But this thing is causing you pain because you're like, I hope that we're going to go here, but I don't know. I'm not getting any reassurance. I'm not getting any security. I'm feeling lost in this situation. So is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Is it going to go this way? Is it not going to go this way? So the constant like back and forth and I don't know what's going on or being in the limbo, it's causing the suffering that you're going through. what the cards are asking you is, again, you got to change your expectations and your relationship to this person in order to be able to feel a little bit more peace within you, because time will reveal it to you. So what they're saying is, you're going to know what's going to happen, but you got to kind of detach a little bit from these expectations, change your perception of things, because it will change your perspective. And when it changes your perspective, you can start seeing things from a different light. And then you can start seeing, well, actually, this is not for me. Or, oh, I can see it. He just needs a bit of time. He, she, whatever you're into. Oh, thank you, Hannah. Does that make sense? So we want things from other people, but the truth of the matter is that we gotta first give it to ourselves. So if this relationship isn't giving you what you want, how can you start? Got it. Strangely, I'm giving him space. Okay. It's also giving yourself space, Miriam. It's not so much of even about the other person. When it comes to relationships, guys, it's really about you. They're very selfish, but not in a bad way. So relationships are a reflection of the relationship that we have with ourselves. They're just manifesting through relationships, the things that we need to heal, the things that we have healed. So when you really think about it, you need to give yourself space. You need to give yourself a break. You need to stop putting so much pressure on yourself and just saying, I'm surrendering for this time. I trust that the information is going to come to me. I'm going to know exactly what to do when the time is right, because when you step back, you can see things clearly, but when you're in it, it's like, where is it? 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 And then you don't have time to see what's going on. He doesn't let me. He is very persistent, even though he can't change things. Yes. But why can't he change things? You see, and here's the other thing. It's like, can he really not change him, or is he telling you that he cannot change it? We often believe people because we believe their own bullshit. And I'm not saying that he's bullshitting. He might have a genuine reason, but that's for you to determine, okay? For me, with people, actions always speak louder than words. Does he say things and do something else? That's a huge one, okay? I never ever trust somebody who says something and then you do something different. You lost my trust immediately. No, things happen every time he's trying to change things. Okay. But that's probably why you need the space, my love. Okay. So sometimes it's like when this person's already got a lot of pressure, and then maybe they know that you want this and they want this, and there's just so much going on for them. Sometimes just stepping back and go, you know what? Figure it out. I'm here. No matter what, I love you. We're going to work things out. But if it won't, when you step back, you can start seeing things for what they really are. Well, sometimes it's not destiny. Sometimes it's lessons. Sometimes it's learning. Sometimes it's growing. Sometimes it's protection. Okay? Authenticity, big time, Hannah. Ooh, big one. My mom, I can never forget the worst advice that my mom has ever given me. I love her, but man, she's giving me some terrible advice. I'll tell you about that one in a second. So learning to make mac and cheese dinner doesn't dates then going out, lol. Hey, some people might like that, Lance. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised. So does that make sense, Miriam? So I feel like, again, there's this pressure that you're feeling, but you just got to step back for a minute and just let things unfold, because I feel like, again, it sounds like there's so many factors outside of your control. There's so many factors that you can't do anything about, but what you can do is take care of yourself. What you can do is start healing and showing up as your best self, because that's the best way that you can support him as well, and yourself. Okay? That's the best way to love anybody, really. It's like, all right, they're going through shit. How can I be my best, strongest self so that I can carry them with whatever they're going through? I got you, man. But if you're broken and they're broken, then they have to carry you as well as whatever else they're carrying. So how can you show up as your best self? And just by stepping back, give it a breather. What do you need? How can I help you? What do I need? How can I help myself through this? I just trust that the answer's going to come. I trust that everything's going to work out. Whether it is to stay together, whether it is to break up, either way, it's going to work out. Okay? So yeah, my mom, by the way, gave me the advice. She was like, when I was younger, because I was such a character, I have such a strong personality, that she was like, guys don't like girl with a strong opinion. Guys like girls who are gentler and softer and more feminine, and who, you know, just. So I was like, so mom, so you're saying guys don't like women like me? And she was like, no, I'm just saying that, you know, you could just be a little bit more girly and daintier. And I'm like, so you're saying that I should not be myself? No, I'm not saying. I'm like, yeah, that's what you're saying, mom. Listen, no. So I'm gonna go into a relationship pretending to be someone that I'm not, and then for them later to find out who I really am. I was like, that is not very good advice, but thank you. Miriam, does that help you though? I hope that helped you. I hope that it gave you some clarity. Again, guys, sometimes we get these readings where we really want to hear something, but that's not always how life goes. I feel like I'm getting tough lessons today. It's like tough love. So Daniel, unfortunately, so I've got Tim now, and then because Hannah's given a donation, she's in the next line, but hang around, I'll get to you. 1950s advice, yeah. Well, she's given me the advice that she knew best for what she did for herself, you know, and that's what she does. She's never really herself. My mom is like, she's herself in the sense of like, she's always like a people pleaser. So she's like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. But deep down then she's thinking something completely different. And I'm like, why don't you just say how you feel? You know, I would respect that a lot more. But anyway, that's her problem. Well, if you're doing it, then you're on the right track, girl. Oh, amazing, Miriam. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely go into my website so we can go a bit more in depth with this, and I can help you out. So I can know a little bit more about the situation, and then I can custom help you with that one, because we can also do manifestations and all that sort of stuff to help you with whatever the situation is. So yeah, absolutely go there. Carla, good to see you, girl. I know I missed you too. You're so welcome. Maybe she means to be more flexible in. Maybe she means to be more flexible in your opinion. What do you mean there, Lace? I don't understand the context. You mean my mom? No, hell no. Because then still that's not me. I know, I got you. No, I mean, that's who I am. Like, I mean, I'm gonna be opinionated. You know, so if you're gonna be with me, you're gonna have to be able to handle a girl who's got a strong opinion, and if you want me to be more flexible, then you have to like be able to debate me. So if you can't debate me, too bad. All right, Tim, you're next. You know, like my husband does a great job. He just, you know, knows how to he likes strong women because his mom is a very strong, opinionated woman, so it works out for him. So he's not intimidated by my opinions. But if you're intimidated, we're never gonna work. Yeah, communication, 100%, you know. Straight no chaser. Absolutely, dude. And like, I love that about me. I used to not like that about me, but honestly, I love people who are upfront. I do not do well with passive aggressive energy. I don't want to guess what you're thinking. I don't want to go around the block and you being like gentle and not really like, I'd rather just somebody say, this is how it is. You know, and even if you say it in a harsh way, I'm like, well, at least I know where I stand. You know, like I so value that and appreciate that. I don't do well with like, I mean, I can manage it and I can see it now that I'm older and I'm a little bit wiser. But when I was younger, I was just like, you know. Tim, what's your question? I didn't see your question. Even if you know the answer. Oh, okay. Should I try to reach out to my little brother more, or should I accept that he is going to walk his own path regardless of the focus on myself? My brother dropped out of high school, he's in jail, and he's struggling. He doesn't take advice clearly. I've learned you can't help someone that won't help themselves 100%. So I've been focusing on my energy on being the best I can be. And when I do visit home, I try to be present when I do have time with him. Amazing. So let me just channel your energy, Tim. So first and foremost, I'm sorry that you're going through this. It can be very frustrating when you see potential in somebody. You know that they can fix it, or you see the road ahead and it's just like, they're just, you know what I mean? So I feel you there. Absolutely, you cannot help somebody who doesn't want to help them. However, there is something that you can do. So let's just get into the reading, because even though you know the answer, that still doesn't take away that you might need help and you might need some advice and some guidance there to strengthen. I saw the, yes, because you can see his potential, and that's a beautiful gift, but it can also be a bit of a curse. Because when you see people's potential, you will fight and fight and try and fight and get slapped and they fight and then they fail and then they fight and they just do not see it. So it is very frustrating, because I have that gift as well. I have the gift of seeing potential in people. So with my parents is another example, right? So I would fight and fight and try and fight and fight and try, and they would just never do anything about it, to the point where I ended up paying the price and I ended up suffering. The best thing I ever did was fuck it, go destroy your lives. And it's hard to watch, but it made me stronger. Oh, you do it. Ooh, wow, that one flew out. And now I can show up for them in a different way. You know, yeah, let them, I know, Hannah. But it doesn't mean give up on them, okay? And it doesn't mean don't try in other ways. So, love it. Okay, so first card you got, Tim. A relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness, the positive resolution of a conflict. Love this. Great sadness. Take time to heal. The need to forgive yourself or others. Yo, these cards. Next. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Advice from someone creative. Amazing. Bye, Miriam. Thank you so much for hanging out. Oh, amazing. Love you too, girl. All right, so Tim, I do think that this relationship is going to get better over time, but I do think that right now you guys are in the shit, okay? Oh, Carla, good to see you. Hey. Yes, I've been busy. And I haven't been back, but I'm back. She's back. So good to see you, man. I so love seeing familiar faces, guys. So I do think that this is, you got to think of this, Tim, as a long-term thing. Okay. So it's like with parenting, I feel like you've also got a bit of a parenting, energy towards your brother. Think about it like a parent, right? There's the kid that goes through the teenage years where they're a little shit, but then like 20 years later, they look back and they're like, man, even though I treated you like crap, I'm so grateful for the fact that you stuck around me. I'm so grateful that you like put up with my shit. I love you so much for it. But at the time, it felt like the worst thing on the planet. So this is very strongly, that's you, Hannah, see? And so so many people can relate to that, right? So I feel like that's what's going on right now. He's in his teenage self-destructive year. He's in the year where he's like doing everything fucking wrong. He's making bad choices, probably dealing with some trauma stuff here. And so he's just acting out. But I do feel like this, the fact that you're the one who's like showing up for him and being present, this is exactly what he needs, because he obviously has abandonment issues if he was adopted out. So having somebody who is solid, consistent, and present is the healing relationship that he needs, and you're actually being that. So I feel like even though it doesn't feel like you're doing anything for him, I promise you, you're changing his life. Yeah, when I was 13, my parents adopted him, and he's always said that I'm the only person he can trust. My parents tried their best, but he had abandonment issues, and he's always had a negative feedback loop. Absolutely. He's dealing with a lot of trauma, Tim. He's dealing with abandonment issues is really bad, because he got abandoned by his family. So many of us haven't experienced that, you know, but it's like being betrayed by your family. And so what it tells somebody like him is that I cannot trust the people closest to me, because the people closest to me are going to fuck me up. And so if I get close to you, that's what you're going to do to me, because if my family did it to me, you're definitely going to do it to me. So this is very subconscious programming that he has, that he hopefully over time will figure out. But having that one solid energy, that one person is like, I'm not abandoning you, man, no matter what you do, no matter what you say. Now, having said that, that doesn't mean don't protect yourself, okay? Like, it's very important for you to be the best version of yourself, to show him what is possible, um, because he needs that. So, great sadness, take time to heal, the need to forgive yourself or others. I think that also there's a part of you that feels guilty, that you can't fix him. There's a part of you that feels like, shit, why can't I get through to him? Like, I keep, and I feel bad because what am I doing wrong? Why can't I get through to him? And that this is the savior problem. So, when you're a savior, when you see potential in other people, you see yourself as a savior. And so you're like, well, I know I can help you, but then they still like not taking it in. The real wreck is that he's biologically my nephew, so his biological father has substance abuse issues, and that caused the abandonment. I hear you, man. So, but you're still family, which is good. Again, that's a very good thing. So you are proving to him that family can be trusted. Okay, that at least some family can be trusted. So you're putting these subconscious programmings in him. That again, you can't see it now, you don't understand it, but I promise you, in 20 years' time, it's going to click for him. At least some of it, it's going to click. It's going to make his life a lot better. But again, take off the burden, Tim, that it's your job to fix him either, okay? It's your job to support him. It's your job to be the best brother that you can be. But that doesn't mean it's your job to rescue him. He's got to rescue himself. He just needs that one person who's solid for him, and that is you, okay? So it also feels like a big responsibility because you also know that, right? So it's like, well, does that mean I have to? No, it doesn't. It's like with my family, it's like, listen, you guys made your choices, you fucked up, and you did your path. Now I'm showing you what you could have done and what you could have been if you just did a little bit of work. And I'm not going to be the thing that you told me that I was going to be. And now they come to me sometimes for advice, or I don't, allow them to influence me anymore in a certain way. But again, I'm not trying to rescue them anymore. But if they need help, I'm there, and I can be there better for them because I'm not trying to rescue them, if that makes any sense. Yeah, Hannah, I know. I feel like you can relate to that. So focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Advice from someone creative. It's a big part of what led me to study Stoicism, so I can focus on being the best person I can be and still give back to the community when I can. Amazing. I love that. So the focus is now, Tim, you want to be you're in a position of leadership, okay? And so here's the problem. Whenever you're a leader, everybody likes the idea of being a leader, but nobody knows what it takes to be a leader. It's very lonely. It's very hard work. Often means that you have to go against the crowd. You're going to get punched in the face and booed most of the way until you get success. And then when you get success, everybody's like, oh my God, he was amazing. He's always done the great thing. Nobody knows what a leader has to go through to become a leader. So oftentimes leaders as well will have a very challenging life. They will have challenging obstacles and challenging circumstances because it's designed that way for you to overcome them so that you can step into that wisdom, step into that power, step into that all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So I know, I can see that, Tim. So when you understand how the hero story, think about the hero's journey. In order for somebody to become a hero, everything up until that point has been just nothing but obstacles and trauma and difficulties. But what does the hero do as opposed to the villain? The hero and the villain have the same journey. The hero chose to rise above it and use that to make good, whereas the villain use the pain and use it for destruction and to make everybody else feel the pain that he's felt. Well, as the hero is like, I am going to learn from this, and I do not want anybody else to live or experience what I've experienced. Well, as the villain is like, I'm going to make you feel exactly what I felt. But they both had the same journey. The hero conquers the dragon. Yeah, absolutely. And it is a dragon, by the way, just so you know. So just understand that that is part of the journey that you're going through, and you're getting the dragon tattoo. So it might be one of your spirit animals, by the way. I would look into dragon energy, and dragon's life, but it's a tough one, okay? If you want to have the, the symbolism of the dragon, it comes with a lot, Yeah, it's a dragon. And he's sitting on the dragon, you see? That's the leadership card. King of Fire. So this means also, though, that I am hearing here, don't be afraid to ask for help, okay? Every hero has had a mentor, a sidekick, somebody who has helped them, along the way. So a lot of the issues that a lot of leaders feel is that they have to take care of everything on their own. No, a good leader knows, always has followers, always has people who support them along the way. The beginning is always by yourself, but at some point people then start helping. And so just make sure that you accept that help. Make sure, whether it's through spiritual things, through family, through friends, whatever it is, like, make sure that you, and seek that help, seek that mentor, seek that person that can give you the advice and the power and the knowledge and the strength that you need. Nobody does it on their own. Okay, everybody needs a mentor. The mentor is kind of like gives you that key, okay, that even though you could have stepped through that door, you needed that key to unlock it. All right. So in the end of this, listen, the point of this that I'm hearing here, Tim, is that in the long run, it's actually going to bring you guys closer. It just, right now, it doesn't feel like it. So you're going to have to be that leader where you're just going to have to see the bigger vision, see the long-term vision in 20 years time. And that's where you got to see his potential, which is like, I know that deep down, no matter what, he loves me and I'm that solid figure for him. I don't have to do anything for him. I don't have to save him. I just have to be that for him, to be there for him when he needs it, but not take his shit on either. Yes, but that's why you got to detach. I get that, but that's why you got to detach, because when you're constantly think that you can fix them, that's where the pain happens, because you think it's your responsibility. The minute you let go of that responsibility, all you are just become the person, then it makes it feel better for you because you're like, I got you, man. But when you think it's your job to fix them, that's why you feel bad. That's the forgiveness that needs to happen, because you're taking on something that it's not yours. Does that make sense? So like I said, with my family, the minute I said, all right, that's it, I'm not going to try and help you anymore, I'm not trying to fix you, it made my life so much better, because now it's like, I always felt like it was my job to fix them. It's not my fucking job. They got to fix themselves. And I can give them all the advice that they want. They're not going to listen, so all right. Bye-bye. But I'm a little bit harsher with my family just because I was the victim in that situation. So does that make sense, Tim? Did that help you? Life love lesson with the kid. I still love him, but I've accepted he just needs to struggle with substance, and hopefully if he jail enough to regulate. Yeah. Dude, just be that sunshine that he needs, because when you go through that, you're going to meet a lot of shit people. He's around a lot of shit people. If you're into drugs, you're around crappy people, okay? He needs that one person. It's going to take him time to come around, but when he comes around, he's going to look back and he's going to go, you've always been that anchor that I needed, but I still have that anchor, so he just cannot have anybody else abandon him again. It's not harsh, it's the truth. It's the truth. And again, when you can step back and see it from a spiritual perspective, which is the higher perspective, which is like, that's life. People make shit choices. Life is really hard. There's really bad people out there. There's really bad circumstances. Like, that's the reality of life. It's not a fairy tale, man. It can be if we do the work and then we heal, but not everybody has access to that. Some people's lives are just going to be a lot more brutal than others. Yeah, absolutely, Daniel. I can see that. As an addict, right? It's like people can jump loops for you, but until you're ready, it's just like, That resonates, especially that the dragon card popped up. I had my first oracle reading locally in Boyce here 1.5 years ago, and the reading resonated a year later. I got my tattoo based on that card. That's so cool. I love that. Yeah. And it takes time to process it, you know what I mean? Sometimes you really got to go through the shit to see the light. And I think that's where he's at right now. So just be that light, just be that torch. It's always waiting for him, Whew. All right, Tim. So hopefully I'll keep loving how I can and lead. Yes, and of course, when you keep having that expectations, by the way, that you can save him and you can't do it, you're going to build up resentment. This is why detachment is actually the better way to go. Because when you can step back and give yourself that time and then show up whenever you can, you're saving yourself as well as him. Aw, that's nice, Daniel. Nice to support him. Okay, Hannah. Last one, and then I know, Daniel, you've been waiting for a question, so after Hannah, I'll get a question for you if you have a question, but Hannah's next. You're so welcome, Tim. Best of luck, man. And it's amazing what you're doing, so just keep going. Ooh, I'm assuming Hannah's typing. I just love this eyeshadow. It sparkles, man. I love sparkles. It's sparkly. Ooh. Oh my god. I'm making weird sounds. I just realized that I'm on a live. She does not have any shame, apparently. So yeah, guys. So just as Anna's probably typing question. So yeah. So just again, I just want to quickly remind, for those of you just joined, just a quick reminder as well of this week. Just be aware of the energies. There's eclipse energies, so big changes. So don't jump into anything. No knee-jerk reactions. Okay. I would like a general. I am recovering from a broken shoulder. Oh no! And a very low hemoglobin levels. Okay, just curious about what is coming up next for me. I have a type slow because of my broken shoulder. Yeah, no, fair enough, girl. I'm like, hurry up, girl. No. All right, so let's see what happens. Which shoulder, by the way, is it? Is your right or is your left shoulder? Because that's going to tell you a lot about energies. So I'll just tell you anyway. So the shoulders are about having the weight of the world on your shoulders, right? If it's the left side, it's your feminine, and if it's the right side, is the masculine. So it tells you a lot about mother, father, masculine energy, feminine energy. So just something for you to reflect upon. I'm sure you already probably know that, but just a little reminder there. Okay, very interesting. Woo! Okay, relax. Ooh. Okay, I want to get some more energies with this, but I got something about control. Okay. Let me get a little bit more. That one flipped. Nice. Okay. So you got the unicorns. So hey Katie, nice to see you. So right now I'm giving Hannah a reading. She just gave a donation. Then I have Daniel. I think he's been waiting for a little while, but then I'll take a question after that. So the unicorns are here to remind you of the power of love, one that is free, unconditional, and not rooted in ownership or control. This experience is not just about a relationship. And this, by the way, could be the relationship with yourself or with something outside, not necessarily a person. It's a lesson in understanding love beyond attachments. Oh, thank you, Katie. I got you down. Sorry, where was I? If someone is being possessive or controlling of you, it's time to recognize this is and reclaim your freedom. Love should uplift, not confine. Open your heart to love that flows without conditions and allow yourself to experience it the purest form. Just writing down Katie so I make sure that I don't forget. So, Hannah, I don't know if this is related to your shoulder or whatever, but essentially, like, there's an energy of control here, or needing to let go of control, or clean out that. Perfect. So it's almost like this happened to make you feel out of control. It's a weird thing that's coming up, but I guess it kind of makes sense. So it's almost like forcing you to, it's whenever an injury thing happens or anything like that, it forces us to be in a certain state of mind. It forces us to stop. It forces us to reflect. It forces us to deal with certain things that we wouldn't normally deal with, um, because we're healthy and everything's fine. So something around that is coming up, and I don't know if this is like, again, but it makes sense that if it is related to that. So it's something about don't have so much control, let go, because you're being put in this situation for some reason. I don't know why, but we'll get to this in a second, because I do see some good stuff coming up for you as well. So you got the leprechauns, which is a good luck, financial luck. So I don't know if you're struggling right now financially, but that's about to change. Okay, so I do also feel like whatever this thing that happened, it's changed your energy. It's made you look at things differently. It's pushed you in a certain direction, because there is good things coming in. And the other thing is, don't get distracted. Okay, Dolphin people is very much about maybe too many things happening at once, too many ideas, too many goals, too many something, too much distraction. So stay focused on your goal, okay? Just choose a goal if you're not sure which one it is. Just try to keep your focus. Then, abundance, things are looking very good. Have patience and time, make long-term plans. Again, planning and abundance is coming up, okay? So financial things are coming up again. Then, come here. Skills work is renewed. Learning all there is to know about a topic. Going back to school. So, whether it is to do with the job or with the money, I'm not quite sure, but essentially learning a skill, growing some kind of a skill. And this doesn't mean actually just physical. This could also mean emotional. Like you're learning something through this process. You're shifting something within yourself. You're upgrading something within you so that it can help you level up. And then things are looking up. The end of a difficult situation. Take a trip. So what I'm getting here is that at the end of the day, whatever the situation that you're in right now, you might feel a little bit stuck. You might feel like everything is a bit slow. Things will change. This is kind of like the prepping for that. You're being put in this situation to slow everything down so that you can learn something from it, so that when this thing is going to come in, it's going to help you. I'm not sure what it is. I don't understand this reading in that sense, but I can only tell you what the cards are saying. So I hope this is resonating, Hannah. So I'm not getting anything else. Let me just see if there's anything else that you want to know a little bit more of. But left is also about receiving. So sometimes people who have issues with the left are very controlling because they're afraid of receiving. So if I'm in control, I don't give power to other people. So I can, it's almost like the opposite of the other one. This is making sense in a lot of ways. Okay, great. I have also slowed down and accepted support since my broken shoulder. So that makes sense. You see what I mean? That's what I mean with the left. So oftentimes these things happen with the left is because you are being too controlling, in the sense of I'm being too independent. I trust people to take care of me. And I'm sure you have your reasons for that, by the way. I'm not trying to take away that. But at some point, if you want to balance out the energies, there's also, if you think about it in the energy of abundance, the money energy is feminine because she's sexy. Doesn't everybody desire money? Money is desirable. Now, to get money, sometimes it takes the masculine, right? To take action. But money is sexy. It's seductive. It's feminine. Yes. So, if you want to manifest more money, all right, you got to learn how to have more feminine energy in a way. How to accept, how to allow, how to invite, how to get people to take care of you, right? People who make a lot of money have a lot of people who work for them. They don't do everything on themselves. Feminine energy in the end. If you really think about it, yes, they might take action in the masculine, but there's a balance of both, okay? So, but if you have an imbalance, then people maybe work very hard. So a lot of masculine energy, but they get no feminine energy, which is they make no money. Yeah, I know a lot of people like that. That used to be me. So now that I'm using more of my feminine energy, I'm making a lot more money. Ironically, but when I worked my ass off and I used to work so hard, man, and I made shit money. Okay, so you guys got to think about that. It's very interesting. Money is feminine because she's sexy. Hey, exactly. Isn't she sexy? Who doesn't love money? And by the way, guys, think about the relationship, how you treat money, your relationship to money. Think of money as a person. Okay? Did I tell you a lot about your relationship to money? Yes. So again, that's also, by the way, that's the masculine energy when it's balanced with the feminine. So the masculine is like, I'm giving the I know where to delegate the energy, and then allow others to come to you to help you with that. People, if you think about any business that scales, anyone who makes a shitload of money, they will tell you that essentially it's all about leverage. Okay, I was watching this guy recently about this, which makes so much sense. It's like, I need to scale my business, which means I have to give other people jobs to do for me in order for my business to scale. Because if I do everything by myself, I can only get so far. That's why people have employees. That's why companies have multiple managers and blah, 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 whatever the thing, right? So that's why people hire people to do things for them, because if they did everything themselves, they will never get to where they want to get to, or at least to the scale that they want to get to. They can get far, but you're not going to get further. So again, the feminine energy is like, well, thank you. Help me out, you know? Yes. So sometimes these things, I feel like this is a lesson around money. Even the shoulder thing is related to that for you for some reason, Hannah. So it's time to break that cycle, because if you keep repeating that cycle, you're going to end up having to do everything by yourself. It's not going to change. It's not going to miraculously, like, something's going to happen. If you want to change the money that you make, you have to change your relationship to yourself, to the business, to money, to everything. And that's the thing that we don't get about money. That's something that I'm learning and I'm growing now, and I'm getting finally, you know, which is amazing when you get it, because it's like, things are changing. Finally, I'm making more money. Money just comes to me so easily. Oh my God, I fucking love it. You know, but before it's like, I don't get it. I'm trying. I'm here, but I didn't change anything before when it came to money. My beliefs was like, I have to work very hard to make money, you know, whatever your beliefs are around that. So sometimes it manifests in the physical, and sometimes it's like literally the relationship, things like the shoulder. It's like, I have to learn to let people, because it's building trust. You're trusting. They might not do it perfect. They might not do it the way that I want them to do it. But the point is, somebody's there and they're doing it. That's one thing I have issue with my husband, because I'm very controlling with him. I'm like, I want it done this way. He's like, listen, let me do it, okay? But then when he does it wrong, but at least I have somebody doing something for me. Before, I had nobody. Okay? So they're not going to do it perfect. Half the time with business is like fixing people's errors, but somebody's there doing. Yeah, exactly. You need somebody to help you with the shower. Talk about vulnerability. All right. So let's see if anything else comes up about that. But I think, I hope this is making sense, Hannah. Okay. So Mystic Witches came up. So this is about rituals. Okay, Hannah. So again, I love rituals. I'm all about rituals. I'm all about daily rituals. They will change your life when you start implementing them, and you start implementing them the right way. So a ritual is, what is the first thing that you think about when you wake up? What is the first thing that you do? Okay, people think of a ritual as doing a spell and going naked and running in the fields and whatever. That can be a ritual, but the rituals that I'm talking about is your habits, everyday beliefs. So if you want to change it, you have to change your rituals. You have to change your habits. So when you wake up in the morning, let's just say the first thing you do, you go to social media, right? So I have that habit, and whenever I want to break that habit, I put a book of manifestation next to my bed, and the first thing I do now is read a chapter of that book. That's breaking already a huge habit. I usually walk around the block with my clothes on. Maybe I should try the field thing. Just run naked in the field, just see how that goes. I love that. Coffee in the morning ritual. Okay, so simple things like this, right? But like, I received this coffee. It's so little, the rituals that we can do, but it's going to change so much energetically. So it's like, when you have your coffee, are you grateful? Or are you like, fuck, I just need this coffee in the morning, I just need to wake up? Small things. When I wake up, the first thing I do is I connect to some higher power immediately. Before I even open my eyes, before I do anything, it's very important for me. I always remember, I was like, all right, connection to the higher power, gratitude for being awake, gratitude for this life, no matter how shit I feel or what's going on in my life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Even I'm grumpy or don't want to get out of bed, whatever it is, gratitude. I call in gratitude immediately. That little ritual alone has empowered me a lot, but it's the little drops that eventually build up. So what I'm hearing with you, Hannah, is like, what are these rituals that you can start implementing? And they don't have to be epic. So it could be sitting there with the coffee and just saying thank you, expanding that energy. Or it could be doing a little prayer every morning with your coffee. Okay, Just little things like that. They're so simple, so applicable, so doable, but they can have a big ripple effect later on. It's just we take these things for granted, but we have no idea how setting those intentions and those energies can change your frequency from the get-go, especially in the morning and especially before bed. It's the key. Those are like when your energy is most open, and therefore anything that you do around those times is amplified. Little tip there for everybody. Because you just come out of the dream state. You've just come back from your soul checking out and going to La La Land, and then it's come back into the physical. So you still have connection to the spirit world, which is really where the reality is. Apparently this is the dream and that's the real world. You got to remember that. So imagine that. So what I'm hearing here is that the changes that you're trying to implement, start implementing them in the small things, and like being grateful for the things that are showing up for you. The grateful that somebody can fucking give you a shower. Because I remember there was a time for me where I had no one. And I also created that, I guess, because I didn't trust people. But when I got really sick, I was left by myself for 2 or 3 days, no food, no shower. I was in bad shape, and thank God somebody showed up to check up on me, because I was bad. I was going to die by myself if somebody didn't show up. So that can happen, you know. So we don't want that. We need people. We need each other. Yeah, so the vivid dreams as well. So things are activating within you, Hannah. So listen, pay attention, what has been told, but use it. I always say this, guys, this is so important, so important. If anything that you want to take away from today is this: anyone can receive intuitive messages. Anyone can have a spiritual awakening. Anybody can sit in meditation and get the most powerful downloads that will change the course of the universe. What makes it spiritual is, what are you doing with it? How are you applying that knowledge, that wisdom, that energy, that information in your day-to-day life? Doesn't mean you're going to succeed at it, but are you trying? So if you feel a certain energy, what are you doing with it? Like I said, with the coffee, just the gratitude. Sometimes that's all you need, connecting to a higher power in the morning. These are the practices that change things. Receiving the information is great, but then what? Right? Okay, so does that make sense, Hannah? So they want you to start changing a little bit of your rituals and doing little things like I just said, and you got to start getting some downloads about that. So you got to start taking a moment as like, what could really like upgrade my life, and start implementing that, okay? Because it's going to make a big difference. Oh, I love that, Carla. Thank you. She's getting some downloads, you know, but it's because I live this shit, you know what I mean? Like, I really live it, I really believe it, and I've seen it in my life. I don't have all the answers, but the stuff that I do know, it's because I've done and I practice myself. And my life does get better. My life, and listen, I do have still challenges, man. There's still things, there's still mistakes that I make. Recently I had a horrible experience, heartbreaking. You're welcome, Hannah. I've effed up big time, and it's okay, you know. We learn when we fuck up. That's when we learn, unfortunately. And so I just went through it. I felt it. I did all the tools, and I was sitting there saying, I'm so grateful that I have these tools, because if I didn't have these tools, man, I would spiral, you know. So Katie, I got your donation. Sorry, Daniel, I got a donation, so she just jumped the list. So Katie, what's your question, my love? Oh, the muscle testing, yes. So you can do it 2 ways. I mean, the best way to do it for yourself, you lock the 2 fingers together like this, and you put pressure on the fingers. So essentially you try not to let the finger slip through. And then you ask a question, if it's true or false. So for instance, my name is Jacqueline and I'm 39 years old. Okay, so it's solid. But then I say, my name is Sarah and I'm live on Pluto. So then you notice that the muscles give out because you're telling a lie. So you can do that with anything every day, asking questions about like, is this food right for me? Should I go left or should I go right? Or do I really mean this or not? So that's the muscle testing thing. So you can just do that. It's kinesiology essentially. Okay, Katie, what is your question? Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to close the energies with Hannah. My question is, what's next for me? I've had a heck of a year, for better or worse. What's coming up? Okay, let's see. Heck of a year is not always a bad thing. It just means big changes. Big change. Yes, I'm 39. She is 39. Going on 40. I'm going to turn 40 this year. Is it? Wait, what year are we in? What month are we in? No, next year. Gosh. I don't know. I keep forgetting how... there was a time that I kept forgetting how old I was. It was kind of funny. I only know now because my husband's cousin is a year older than me. So I know whenever she turns 40, I know I'm like a year younger. That's literally how I remember because I keep forgetting what my age is. I'm vegan. I'm vegan and I work out and I meditate. I think those are the 3 ingredients. Thank you, guys. And plastic surgery. No, I'm joking. All right, sorry, I'm gonna focus. Katie. Ooh, bleh. Ooh, interesting. So, one thing came through very clearly, Katie. I'm going to get a few more cards. Sorry, I didn't even want those cards. Let me just make sure those are the ones that want to come up. Although maybe I should have trusted that. I'm just talking to myself now. Oh, amazing, Hannah. Happy birthday. And TikTok shadows. Yes. Yes, Tim. Exactly. You got it. It's the TikTok eyeshadow that makes you look less than 40. That's a good one. You guys are funny, man. I appreciate that. Okay, I'm just going to go with this because I'm sure it's going to be fine. So, Katie, this is happening because it's teaching you about stability, or it's trying to build stability in your life. This is why it's been so up and down. So it's almost like, think of it kind of like the weights are going like this. Okay, that's what I'm picturing in my head when you're talking about your life in the last year. It's just been like this. Okay, so... But sometimes these things happen because they're teaching us about stability. They're teaching us something. Yeah. It's restoring a level of balance in your life. And unfortunately, it happens through lessons and it happens through events and it happens through energy, right? So understand that that's what's happening, though. It's trying to build a foundation for something for the future. And so even though at the time we feel like, why the fuck is this going on? Or this is great. And why did it go from here to there? It's because it's helping you find that balance. So it's through extremes oftentimes that we discover essentially what we want. Also, like, I feel like there's like maybe some kind of a goal, or you're trying to achieve something or go somewhere. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to turn the AC off. Okay. It's too loud. Because they're actually saying that you've done a really good job, though, at the end of the day, even though it may have felt like it was a disaster. It wasn't. Congratulations, you've done a wonderful job. Time to move on to the next projects, awards, scholarships, and promotions. So also what I'm hearing here is that phase is over and things are balancing themselves out, and it is going to move into something now. So it's almost like, as well, like, I feel like there's all these things that have happened to help you create an energy to move you towards something. Don't know what that means, but that's what's coming up. I mean, I do see good things in your future. I do see things like moving forward, success in some kind of department. So anyway, I'm going to get more clarity because it's just very energy information, energy direction, energy information. I don't know how else to interpret that. So anything else? Oh, that one flipped. Things are looking up. The end of a difficult situation. Take a trip. You know, again, it's just reaffirming everything that I'm telling you. So, so whatever this was, it's on its way out. That resonates so much. Yes, moving on. Yes, difficult situation. Ooh, I love this. Dude, it's like the wheel. Positive change. A situation suddenly moved forwards. Fortune is on your side. So again, it's just reaffirming this over and over again. So let me get away from this because I feel like it's just going to keep repeating. It's just going to keep reaffirming. Yeah, that's the point. I get it. So let's see if there's anything else that can come up that basically can help you. Like, for instance, how can we manifest more of what we want? Nice. Ooh, okay. Interesting. And leprechauns. Girl, you got some luck on your side. That's for sure. Okay, so you got the kitchen witches. Kitchen witches are, again, about be careful of the energies that you're absorbing, the information that you're absorbing, how you're programming yourself. Everything is programming us. Our environment, the things that we watch, so nothing bad with that, but you want to start feeding your system, feeding your energy field, feeding your mind the things that are serving you. Okay, so that if things do get unbalanced for whatever reason, you're prepared and you're strong. But let's just say that you've been feeding yourself the wrong things, and then when something bad happens, it really can throw you off course. Okay, so that's another thing that maybe that you needed to learn throughout this process. So prioritizing your energy, your health. This could be physical, okay, it could be manifest in a physical way, but I always like to think of it as like just not just that. It's like the physical, the spiritual, and the mental. What are the thoughts that I'm thinking? What are the energies and people and places that I'm surrounding myself with? And what am I feeding myself? Because of course, yes, what you eat, you also become, but that's a whole other debate. Yes, that can turn into a debate, but I do believe all of that. Okay, so when you elevate spiritually, you become a little bit more aware of those things. And I don't mean elevate as in like better than, but you're a little bit more conscious, you're a bit more sensitive. So you cannot eat certain things, or you can, but you can't do it for so long, and you feel it when you don't. Same thing with thoughts. It's like when you have negative thoughts, you can really feel those things, or when you're whatever it is. So it's all within the same realm. Now, the other thing that it came up is star fairies. Star fairies are encouraging you to step out of your comfort zone, okay, and embrace new experiences, especially those that challenge you. Growth happens when you dare to explore the unknown. Trust that the universe is guiding you towards expansion. This is your time to discover new worlds and unlock true potential. So again, going back to this up and down, it was designed that way so that you can actually take bigger risks, because if you were in your safety, Katie, you would not have taken bigger risks. This is making you braver and stronger. So it's because there is something that, again, I feel like these energies happen to get you to go somewhere, but they had to prep you for that. So if you weren't prepped, you probably wouldn't have had the balls to make that choice. Oh, bye, Aileen. Thank you for hanging out. Yes, I've weeded my garden of friends, focusing on self-love and self-respect. Yes. Leveling up. This is my past 2 years. I love that. And that makes sense. This is all making sense. Okay, so you're doing the work, and that's why they were congratulating you, girl, because at the time we want the results now. It doesn't work like that. Okay, but I promise you that the work that you have been doing, babe, it's gonna like skyrocket. And I know this because I've done that in my own life, and it changed everything. But they also want you to step out of your comfort zone. Okay, so they prepped you for this so that you can feel worthy of taking that leap of faith, because if you don't have any self-worth, if you don't believe in yourself, you're never going to take that risk, right? But they're prepped you for it. And then guess what? The leprechauns. Okay, so again, I see good luck in your life. 3 times that came up, so it's just a confirmation. It's set in stone. So whatever you did, it's going to lead you towards that abundance. It's going to lead you towards that healthy relationships. Makes so much sense. And new on the horizon. Went through one dark night of the soul, and it's been tough but healing. Yeah, thank you for this. Okay, here I go on my out of my comfort zone. We'll take a risk. Lucky. Yes. Okay. Now, guys, and I got a lot of shit for this from somebody, because I think that people don't like the idea of thinking of healing as like a really painful thing. Healing is very painful. If it wasn't, wouldn't everybody just do it? Wouldn't everybody just do the work? Like, somebody said, oh, I don't know, whatever, who cares what people said anyway. But having gone through it myself, it makes sense. Healing is very painful because you have to do the things that are uncomfortable. You have to do the things that you don't want to do. You have to do the practices. You have to do the work. And people don't understand what the work is. The work is like not listening to that voice in your head that's been telling you that you're a piece of crap, not hanging out with people anymore, even though you feel lonely. It's having that difficult conversation with yourself or with other people. It's painful. But then after it, you feel great. And after you get the benefits. But at the time, it sucks. And also think of it like breaking a bone, right? The healing process of healing a bone. It's like, it's painful. You got to be in a cast, you got to adjust, is like all this sorts of stuff. So just to put the image on there. So anyway, the point, I'm speaking really fast. So does that make sense, Katie? Yes, the work, it is painful, but it is how you grow so much. Yes, and you build up self-respect. Super important. You build up self-trust and self-respect. When you do the work, the confidence that you build because you've done the work. It's like somebody goes to the gym, right? You build the confidence. First day, you're not very confident, but you persist, you get the results, and eventually you know what you're doing. You're super confident in yourself. So that's the confidence. That's the self-respect. And then it gives you the courage to do other things after that, to take those risks, to go for those relationships, to ask that person out, to try to be friends with people. And if you get rejected, like, I'm good, man. I got the tools. So it's looking really good, Katie. Do you have any more questions? Because I feel like your reading is good. You're on the right path. You're doing the right things. It's just adjustment. It's launching you into something more powerful, something greater. So if you want to go a little bit deeper, let me know. If not, if you're happy, let me know. It's up to you. I just want you to walk away feeling like good about it and like you got what you wanted, you know. Sometimes the readings don't have to be like super long. Thank you for confirming. Anything to be aware of, watch outs. Okay. I'm using my cards again. I mean, listen, when I say all good, of course there's going to be challenges a little bit. That's a good question, though. It's like, what do you need to watch out for? It's like falling back into old patterns. There could be so many things and that's a great question, you know. It means you're a little self-aware, which we like that. Okay, sorry, it's not funny, but it's funny. So you got the snake people, okay? Snake people is about breaking family lineage and cycle bloodlines, okay? So the snake people invite you to connect to your ancestors and your family lineage. Whatever situation you are facing, now is the time to heal and break the cycle. Within you lies ancient wisdom. Just as when inherit the lesson, you also inherit the traumas of our family. We also carry their gifts. Embrace this power, for it holds the key to your transformation and freedom. So this, whatever you're going through here, this is very much tied to life lessons, to karmatic lessons, to family lineage. So as you're healing yourself, you're also healing the family, the generations. Oh wow, I've been working on breaking generational cycles right now. So this is a lot deeper than what it looks like. You're doing something that's a lot more profound and a lot more, has a lot more of an impact than you think, okay? So the only thing you got to be careful is just pay attention to the cycles. And that actually came up before even I got this card. So when it comes to cycles, it's very easy to fall back into patterns. So get familiar with the cycles, which means, for instance, in my family, and something that I picked up is addiction. You know, there's a pattern of addiction. There's a pattern of anger. There's a pattern of abandonment. There's a pattern of abuse. Okay, so when you recognize those cycles, when you see them in yourself, and it's normal, we all have levels of this, but when you see that cycle being reactivated and you seeing yourself falling back into that, you got to break that cycle. So recognizing it and knowing it is the key, because when you see it, then you know what the problem is, and then you can do something about it. But oftentimes with these cycles, before you know it, you're in it, and then you're in the shit. And then you have to work very hard to get out of it. So what's coming up for you is just pay attention to the cycles, get to know the cycles, but remember, there's also the gifts. So the same way we have the traumas and the lessons in our family, we also hold the gifts and the blessings. So one of the things, for instance, my father's family, other side, are good with money. So I've been tuning in and tapping into that energy to bring more money in my life, because I'm like, I've got that in my lineage, but my mother also came from a very, very poor background. So I have both. Perfect combination. So you can either tap into one or tap into the other. So I'm breaking the poverty cycle. I'm honoring the financial, but I'm turning it into something that also has meaning and not just like superficial, because that's the other side of my family side. Oh, does it, Tim? That's cool. Powerful, yes, profound, incredible. My pattern is abandonment and anger. Generation from shore will watch for the cycles. Thank you for this wisdom. No problem. And also, again, remember to alchemize it, okay? So you can't really get rid of these energies because they're a part of you, but you can alchemize them. So turn that shit into gold, okay? So that anger is a very powerful tool for change and transformation. People always look at anger as a really bad thing. It can be. It can totally destroy everything on its path, but it can also cook. It can also clean. It can also burn cycles. It's a very powerful motivator. So when you get angry, use it and alchemize it. When you feel abandonment, show up for yourself. Don't abandon. You can use it to fix the problem as opposed to making it more of the problem. Again, the hero and the villain journey. Remember always that one. It all comes down to a choice on how you react to it and what you use it for. Okay, so thank you so much, Katie. Best of luck. I mean, you don't need luck. You're good. You're good, girl. You got this. So, Daniel, I know you've been waiting to get a question. You're so welcome. So, Daniel, if you still have that question, if you're still here, feel free. And also, we're going to close the reading. We've been here for 2.5 hours, y'all. I didn't know it was going to go on for this long. But that's awesome. I've been doing readings like non-stop lately, so it's been fun, cool, deep. I was cooking tonight. Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you. Yeah, I've been doing lives on TikTok now because I've been promoting my cards. So I've been doing like lives there. But unfortunately, the questions sometimes they aren't as deep. It's more like, is so-and-so thinking about me? Is so-and-so going to text me? And my answer is like, I don't know, just text them back. Like, I'm not the psychic to come to, I'm not even psychic, I'm a channeler, but I was like, I'm not the person to come to ask for those things, guys. What do you want from the relationship? Like, what are you seeking? Don't ask me those questions. So they're very funny. Very different energy from Insight Timer. All right, Daniel, I don't think you're here anymore. Are you still here? Did you want to have a question? I remember you said that you wanted me to draw a card. Maybe you're typing or whatever. So I got the guinea pigs running around. Can you guys hear it? Weep, weep. Can you guys hear them? Weep, weep. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Piggies. Hi. What are you doing? Hi, Iggy. I can hear you, Bubba. Are you being piggy noises? Are you guys hungry? Weep, weep. Hi, handsome. Oh, hi. You're like a little puppy dog. You answer to this whistle. Come on. I love you. Oh my gosh, yes, Hannah, you definitely. I mean, you don't really need to shuffle. You can also just like spread them out. But yeah, definitely with one hand, it's going to be challenging. I resonated with one. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Yes, it definitely helps when you resonate with the reading. Sometimes you guys don't even need to like, yeah, you don't need to ask. Like if it resonates, that's it. You can hear them good. Yeah, they're so sweet, man. I love the guinea pigs. They're a lot of work, but they're character. They're definitely a little sassy as well. Like they're like cats. They kind of give me like a cat vibe. As like, if you want me to let you pet me, I might, but if not, then just like feed me. I'm like, cool. They got sass. Okay, so Daniel, I don't see a question, so I'm assuming you're good. You still have time while I'm closing today, but thank you. Wow, the reading really is. Oh, you're so welcome, Cassie. I'm so glad, by the way. And yeah, guys, make sure to follow. I've got a ton of courses. By the way, guys, happy. Finish sentences. Happy announcement. I have a new course coming out, and this one is about amplifying or connecting to your spiritual gifts. So Insight Time is still in the process of approving it, but I get a lot of great feedback on my courses. People seem to love them, which is so, so great. I'm so grateful that I could do these courses because I have such a good fun time creating them. So go check out the courses, but this one is coming out. So it's essentially about you connecting to the clair. So clairaudience, clairsentient, clairaudience, and claircognizance. So it's teaching you basically how to tune in and amplify those things and how to really activate them even more. Very basic, but even if you already have gifts, it's going to teach you some tools there on how to like tap into all of them. And then I've got a ton of on manifestation, self-esteem. You go, guys, check it out, my profile. And of course, my meditations, guys. That's one of my best work is my meditations. I'm a channeler. That's what I do. I download guidance through my meditations. So people seem to like those as well. So go and check them out if there's something that you need or need help with. All right, so that's it for today. We've been here for 2.5 hours, which has been so good, so much fun. I'm so grateful for hanging out with you guys. So grateful. And for everybody who's just been hanging around and watching, I see you. Thank you for sending me your love and your energy, for supporting today. And thank you each other for being so nice and kind to each other. I love Insight Timer. Thank you, Insight Timer, for existing. Thank you, Carla. Sending you so much love. I can feel your love, guys. I'm so excited that I get to be back. So I'm going to try and do these readings a little bit more often. Obviously, if something comes up, I get busy and whatever, but I'm going to be here. So keep an eye out. And I'm so excited to see you guys on the next one. Not sure when it will be, but keep an eye out. And I'm sending you guys so much love. I can't wait to see you again soon. And have a magical day, guys. Bye.